interactions and comments. If you missed it yesterday, New England's finest is going back home. Today is Nick Cattle's final afternoon ride along here at Sactown Sports, so buckle up, Buttercup, and welcome into Cattles and Ramie. Happy Friday. I'm Simone. Those are your Sactown Sports headlines. Let's get it.
Not the boring, generic milquetoast stuff coming from the network in Connecticut.
I describe him as the best, obviously.
Cattles.
He throws it out there, speaks his mind, that's cool.
And Ramie.
He's supposed to make people laugh. He's just an expert at it.
Cattles and Ramie. Live and local in the afternoon.
Sactown Sports.
What's happening? Thanks for joining us as always. Happy Friday to you and yours.
All right.
He's Ramie, I'm Cattles.
That is Cattles.
And big day, NBA free agency day, Ramie. We've been waiting patiently all week, sometimes impatiently. But here we are. NBA free agency day. We are going to keep an eye on all of the news. We're going to break as much news as we possibly can to all of you. Kings news, NBA news coming at you from now until 6 o'clock. And there's a lot that I think is going to be happening here in less than an hour. But Ramie, we start today's show talking about what happened last night. Before we bid adieu, on the Thursday, all of a sudden at like 5:15, we get this breaking news from Adrian Wojnarowski that Harrison Barnes is going to stay here in Sacramento. 3 years, $54 million is the deal, $18 million per. There's a 10% trade kicker. And we had our immediate thoughts, right? I mean, it's fun to break news, but the part of breaking news is that you also have to break your opinion with the news. You don't have a lot of time to think.
The process.
Yeah, the first thing that pops up into your head, that's what you're doing, right? So now that we've had a night to sleep on this, we've had a night to sleep on it, we've had a night to think about this. No, I haven't slept well all week.
Okay.
But you've had a night to sleep. I've had a solid 5.5 hours or so of sleep. Hopefully all of you had more sleep.
I got 7-ish.
After that sleep, your thoughts on Harrison Barnes staying here for 3 years, $54 million?
I like it a little bit more than I did yesterday,
Ooh.
Nick. I still don't.
It was a really good sleep.
It was a good 7 hours. Although my dog was restless for some reason. I kept waking up and he was just staring at me and whining. I don't know. And then he just slept all morning after it made no sense. But the point is, after that decent night of sleep that was interrupted slightly by my dog, I feel a little bit better about it, Nick. It's still not the sexiest move.
No.
You know what I mean? It's not splashy. But the more I look at the free agent market and what was splashy out there and some of the names that we've kicked around, I don't know that there's anybody who I love a whole lot more than Harrison Barnes. You know what I mean? Like, Kyle Kuzma's maybe a little bit better than Harrison Barnes. I don't know if he necessarily is the fit that we saw Barnes to be last year. Draymond Green, he brings some stuff to the table, but you pointed out offensively the sort of how he's a wrench in the plans, how he and Domas are very redundant. I was intrigued by the idea of Jeremy Grant, but all in all, when I look at the free agent market, there isn't a lot out there where I go, oh, that guy, I would definitely take over Harrison. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like there are some guys who maybe I'd go, yeah, I'll take him, but nobody who I am emphatically enthusiastic about in that he would be better for the Kings than Harrison Barnes is. And I'll stick to what I said yesterday. We also have to wait and see what the total picture looks like.
Yes.
Because there's still $18 million under the cap to spend. There's still the Sasha Vezenkov issue to work out. So we don't know how much deeper or more versatile this roster is going to look like when all is said and done. There's still more to be determined.
Yeah, we mentioned several times yesterday when we broke the news what Ramie just said. There's still a lot to happen here.
Probably
there's still,
today.
Yeah, there's still going to be a number of things. Chris Duarte, who we'll talk about in a little bit. There's rumblings. There's been a report that the Kings are nearing a deal for Duarte from Indiana. So we'll get into that again in about 10 minutes or so. There are other things that can happen here. If this is the biggest move, if this is the move, unless you consider, Ramie, that a Domas extension would also be a big move, right? kind of weird because he's already here through the year.
Mm-hmm.
But if you give him the extension, that's a significant move by Monty McNair to be able to wrap up Domas long term.
Solidified the core.
So if Harrison Barnes and a Domas extension are the two biggest moves you make this offseason, I do think that fans are going to be disappointed. Not all of them. Of course, it's not a monolith. Not every fan agrees with every other fan, as we know. But I do think there's going to be an air of disappointment because of the $35 million in cap space and some of the other aspects and tools that you have at your disposal to bring in talent. There is going to be some disappointment from some Kings fans. And if I look at that and I say, Barnes and Domas, you didn't necessarily upgrade as much as I think you need to be a real player this coming year. And that's with guys getting better. But there are pros to this. There are definitely pros bringing Harrison Barnes back. Number one, we've talked about it, Ramie. I brought this up earlier in the week with Kyle Kuzma, who, by the way, sounds like he might return to Washington. So all of a sudden, he was the hottest name on the market to returning to the Wizards. When we talked about Kyle Kuzma earlier in the week, one of the points that I've made is that if you bring somebody in like Kuzma, you are going to possibly, if not probably, stunt the development of Keegan Murray, which I think would be a critical mistake. Bringing Harrison Barnes back allows Keegan the room to breathe, grow, develop, and become the guy that Kings fans want him to become. Keegan now has a little bit of pressure on him to be better, and now he's looked at as probably your number 2 offensive player. You can say Herter might be that guy. Domas is not, to me, aggressive enough. I don't think Domas is ever going to score 22, 23 points a game because that's just not his style of play. Keegan now has that chance to take the step. He has that chance to take the step and be the legitimate second scorer on this team, show us more ISO skill, more creation on the offensive side. He has that opportunity because Barnes is a low usage, high efficiency kind of player.
Yeah, and if there aren't any other major additions to this basketball team, Nick, that's going to be, and I've said a number of times before, and not just when it comes to the Kings, and that when it comes to any team professional sports, your best opportunity for improvement is from within. And if they're not going to add a big name, make that big splash move, they need that much more for Keegan Murray to take that big second year step and for him to do some of the things he did well, do them even better, and show us some things that we didn't even see in our rookie year. Some of the things that you were just talking about. It becomes that much more important and imperative that Keegan Murray takes that big jump if you're not going to add major pieces to this roster this offseason.
So I like that angle of Keegan's development. And $18 million is a very tradable contract. So if the time comes that you want to move on from HB, it's going to be pretty easy to deal him. He's a solid vet. He's a solid team guy. He can be a fourth or fifth option on a team. And $18 million is going to be a drop in the bucket within the next 2 or 3 years. This cap is going to explode. The new TV rights deals are going to come through, and all of a sudden deals that are $18, $19, $20 million are going to look like deals that are $10, $11, $12 million right now. So it's not like they paid him an unreasonable amount of money. This is a very reasonable contract considering what's going to happen to the cap. I don't think it's very exciting. I don't think it's super exciting. I'm not doing cartwheels because HB re-signed.
I'm surprised by how much panic and sorrow there is over this. But I mean, I'm going off Twitter, which can I'm going to shock you right now.
It's a dangerous proposition.
It can skew negative. Twitter can skew negative sometimes. But I saw a lot of people really upset about this move or depressed about this move. And I'm surprised that seems to be the overwhelming sentiment because I'd genuinely like to know. Let us know on the YouTube page or any of the other ways you can get in on the show. Who was the guy that you were that much more excited about than Harrison Barnes? You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, what was going to happen today that was going to make that was going to really knock your socks off as a Kings fan? That would be that much better than bringing back Harrison Barnes. The more I looked at the free agent market and slept on it, Nick, I don't see it.
Yeah.
I honestly don't see it.
Wasn't interested in Green, wasn't interested in Kuzma. Jeremy Grant was a guy I was interested in, but he's probably going to get $30 million or so a year from Portland, and I don't think he wants to leave Portland. And the Blazers are trying to keep Dame Dalla for like the 10th straight year. So you look around, and it is what it is. Again, not super exciting. I said this yesterday, and I stand by it after the night's sleep. I'll give the move about a B-. It's not super exciting. It's okay. It's solid, but there's still a lot to be done. So I don't think anybody should look at this and say, Harrison Barnes, and that's it for the offseason. That's all they're going to do. Give Monty some time. There's a lot of things that they can get done. But we want your thoughts. Harrison Barnes re-signs with the Kings. We broke the news yesterday in the 5 o'clock hour. 3 years, $54 million, $18 million per year. Of course, you can always text us at 916-339-1140. You can call us. Phone lines are wide open for you, 1-800-920-1140. YouTube.com, Sactown Sports 1140.
Lots of love for Nick Cattles over there.
In the YouTube channel.
Look at that.
And we look forward to this day. This day is going to be a lot of fun. Hopefully we have just nonstop news to break over the next few hours. I think we will. And it should be a great day. A great day for a final day. I'll clue you into why I'm leaving. Also, we'll get into Chris Duarte, possibly the newest member of the Kings. Get to that in 90 seconds.
Cattles
and Ramie.
Sactown Sports. It was an amazing season for the Sacramento Kings. The coach of the year.
These honors don't come around often, and so you're very appreciative of them.
The clutch player of the year.
Fox rocks. He fires for the win. He's got the triple.
And a return to the playoffs for the first time in 17 years.
16 seasons of frustration. Sacramento has clinched the playoffs.
Keep it on Sactown Sports at SactownSports.com for all your Kings off-season news.
Hey, it's Carmichael Dave, and I recognize, just like my friends at American Energy Heat and Air, that your time is important. And that's why shopping for a new air conditioner is now easier with American Energy Heat and Air's online quoting tool. All you have to do is go to AmericanEnergyAir.com and get an instant quote right now. It'll help you determine what system you're going to need to get. It'll provide the best pricing options, all from the comfort of your home without having to have somebody come to your home. You know how annoying that is? They come in and everybody there is so sweet and nice, but how much better is it to be able to get it on demand? Visit AmericanEnergyAir.com. Check out how easy it can be. Or if you want to give them a call and talk through what your needs are, 916-520-9990. That's 916-520-9990 or AmericanEnergyAir.com.
Call 916-520-9990 now.
Your afternoon home for Kings talk and more.
This is Cattles and Ramie
on Sactown Sports.
I see what you did there, Simone. I see.
A little intentional.
Yeah. One of my favorites. One of my favorite hip hop songs.
Did we ever compile a list?
We talked about how tough that is. Okay.
All of Nick's favorite hip hop songs.
I did that with so much intention for that first rejoin. I'm glad you noticed.
75 times you've said that coming back.
No. I wouldn't say 75.
At least.
Maybe 50.
No, it really drove it home after our draft mockery. I was like, okay, that is a really important song for him.
It's not hard to do.
Song.
All right, so I'm going to do this a couple of times today, and I'm going to do it not to, put myself over in an ego moment.
Put yourself over. It's all right.
No, I truly believe that it's not fair to listeners to blindside them when certain things happen. We'll get into Chris Duarte. We'll get into your thoughts on Harrison Barnes returning in a minute. But I announced this yesterday in the 5 o'clock hour. It's been on Twitter the last 16, 18 hours. I know not all of you are on Twitter, probably many of you not on Twitter. Today is my last show. We announced it yesterday, and it's not because I don't like Sacramento. It's not because I don't love Sacramento. It's not because I don't love this job. I love this job. I've loved working with Ramie. About a year ago, I brought him in when I was program director, and I'm thrilled that I made that move because I think this show has been pretty damn good. And I'm not one to brag, but I think we've done a good job. And I've loved working here. And I've loved working with Ramie and Simone and JJ and Chris Verlade. That's kind of the core staff I've been with as a show. but also, Nate and Kyle sliding in and doing well as well as they did too has been great. And the reason why I'm leaving, again, has nothing to do with the area. Has absolutely nothing to do with Sacramento. Kelly and I have, enjoyed Sacramento. We think it's great. I've loved investing in the Kings. The reason why I'm leaving is due to family reasons. And I think, going back a few weeks ago, Ramie, I was gone for 2 weeks. People were asking me what was going on. Some personal things have happened. Some personal things have happened really since day one when I got here. But the last 2 months, certain things have happened, which has exacerbated the situation for Kelly and I. It's not tolerable to be 3,000 miles away from home during this time. So we have to head back. Now, I'm not heading back tomorrow. I still have a house to sell, so I could be here till next summer. Maybe I'll see you out and about at the bars I go to. I'll see you at a Kings game. But, that's why I'm going. I'm going due to family, to get back to that support system and to support some others as well. So it was I've always made moves, and it's always been kind of professionally done as far as I'm kind of eye on the prize and the job and all that stuff. This time was a 100% personal move for family. And so that's that. So today's my last show. I'm very happy to wrap things up with NBA free agency. I think it's a perfect finish. And I see a lot of you saying kind words. I appreciate you. And I've loved my time again here and hanging out with all you guys, especially in the YouTube chat, which has been somewhat interesting. Not everybody loves me, but there's been some kind words, so I appreciate you. Back to the task at hand, though. Let's go back to the Kings talk and your thoughts on Harrison Barnes. Ramie and I, we're okay with the move. We're not doing cartwheels. Neither of us are super excited, but we're okay. It's a reasonable deal. It's not a backbreaker. And there's plenty of offseason left. I mean, we're still 42 minutes away from free agency beginning. So there's still a lot of things that can happen. Patrick Donaldson, Ramie, on YouTube, it would have been horrible if we lost Barnes for nothing, which could have happened. Yeah, it could have happened. I mean, maybe you could have ended up working out a sign and trade deal, but if a team like Indiana that was, rumored to be super interested in Harrison, if they walked in and offered like $20 million, $22 million a year, and you just lost HB, that would be difficult.
Also, I wouldn't look at it as nothing if it was in the same free agency season where they went out and made an upgrade. But again, I don't know how many guys that are out there on the free agent market are major upgrades over Harrison Barnes, if upgrades at all, is ultimately the conclusion I came to the more I thought about it.
By the way, there was a tweet just a moment ago from Michael Grange from Sportsnet. One agent I spoke with today said as many as 15 deals are already done. Could be busy at 3:01 for us. So be ready. Be ready for free agency.
Boy,
it's going to hit us in the face.
Here we go.
I am the sun on Harrison Barnes. I'm not disappointed unless we get bounced again. Says that Barnes is already undersized. We need an absolute unit. Yeah, I mean, look, I do think, and we'll talk about this throughout the day, but I do think there is absolutely a need for size on this team. I think you need another 4. I think you need absolutely a backup center, which I've been talking about since last year. They do need additional size. And I wouldn't be angry getting a bigger, longer wing either to join the mix. Speaking of joining the mix, Cattles and Ramie, Sactown Sports on this Friday. Hope you're doing well, getting ready for the holiday weekend. Shams Charania earlier this morning tweeted out that the Kings were nearing a deal for Chris Duarte of the Indiana Pacers. That deal has not been completed yet, so we have no idea what the Kings are going to give up. I would imagine it's likely second-round picks. We'll see if that's the case. They also might be working, Ramie, on maybe a 3-team deal because it's taking a while. That usually means they might be roping in another team. But your initial thoughts about Chris Duarte when you saw this?
It's a solid move. He's a guy who had a pretty good rookie year for the Pacers, had some injuries last year. We've talked, Nick, about the fact, the notion that as this team moves into being a contender and hopefully for years to come being a contender, finding talent in unlikely places and seeing talent where other people don't, a lot like you see with the Miami Heat. I don't know that anybody was necessarily looking for Chris Duarte. I don't think there was a huge market out there for him, but I can see why they're intrigued by this guy and bringing him in for some low-level draft compensation, I'm okay with it. Again, it's not a move that knocks my socks off, but could be a guy that ends up contributing to this thing somewhere down the line.
I love this.
You love it?
Yeah, I love it. For the
love
cost.
it?
Yes, love it. I'm not telling you that Chris Duarte is going to score 20 a game. It's a
all NBA. Nick just said Chris Duarte is going to be all NBA.
You know what? It's my last day. I might as well just go out with a bang.
Throw it all out.
A hot take
baby.
every segment. Duarte, all NBA next year.
Hall of Fame.
Low risk, high reward kind of move. I don't think it's going to cost you a lot. The first reason why I love this move, Domas and Duarte are very, very tight with each other. When Duarte came here with Indiana last year, he went out to dinner with Domas before they played against each other. On and off the court, Duarte is close with Domas. We had Sean Cunningham on the show yesterday. He said priority number one for the Kings this offseason, it's not free agency, it's not trading anybody, it's making sure they extend Sabonis. This is going to help in that, voyage to get Domas here long term. It is going to make him happy, which is what you want to do, but it's not just to make Domas happy because, again, on the floor, these guys have worked really well together. Duarte cuts to the bucket. I was watching a highlight reel today of Domas to Duarte 2 years ago in Duarte's rookie season when Duarte's just going backdoor. He's making cuts. Domas, it almost looked like Malik Monk, 1-2 combination on the pick and roll with Domas and Duarte. So they have great synergy on the floor together. Duarte shot 39% on his attempted threes when he played with Domas on passes from Domas. So they just have a great connection. He can shoot the ball. He had a down year last year shooting. I think it's due to injuries. Mm-hmm. He can flat out shoot. He's a great free throw shooter. That tells you the stroke is there. He's a 6'5" wing, which fills a need. Defense, mixed reports. Some people will tell you he's a good defender. Some people will say that he's not the best defender. But I love it. And I'd also say this. It could. I'm not saying it's going to. It could open the door to moving somebody from the backcourt. This could open the door for a trade, whether it's Herter or it's Davion, because I could see, for example, you trade Davion to bring in a big body, and then you slide Monk to the backup point off the bench, and now Duarte is filling your Monk role of scorer shooter. I could see Herter possibly go. So I'm not saying it's going to happen. It just gives Monty the flexibility, Ramie, to maybe make a move like that.
I can see that. I wouldn't go as far as love, but I see all the benefits of this move that you're looking at. And I didn't know about the Domas connection, if I'm being honest with you. So that adds a little added element of intrigue in terms of Duarte and what he could do for this Kings team. Still wouldn't go as far as loved. I don't know what's in your water bottle today.
I love low risk, high reward moves. I love them. If this guy can give you 10 to 12 points a game,
I know it's your last day, but did you spike your water bottle?
By the way, Patrick Donaldson corrected me. I said 6'5". Donaldson said 6'6". There's some conflicting reports about that. If you Google Duarte, it says 6'5". Others will tell you he's 6'6". Maybe he's 6'6" with sneakers on. Maybe he's 6'4" and 3/4 without the sneakers. I don't know. But he's around 6'5", 6'6". All right, we'll continue with your thoughts on Harrison Barnes, your thoughts on the Chris Duarte reported addition, and, of course, on my final day, we had to have Frankie C in studio, didn't we?
Your best friend.
Frankie,
birthday boy.
Frankie will be joining us to talk Kings. We'll get to your calls. We'll get to your reaction coming up.
Cattles and Ramie.
Sactown Sports.
It's the Carmichael Dave Show with Jason Ross.
Apparently, there is a cage match brewing between Elon Musk and Mark Zuckerberg. Now, I hope this happens for many reasons. Number one, it just goes with the downfall of our society. Number two, nothing more fun than seeing super ultra mega billionaires just beat the hell out of each other. Number three, it would obviously be a terrible, terrible, terrible fight.
The Carmichael Dave Show with Jason Ross. Weekday mornings from 6 to 10 on Sactown Sports.
The California Classic Summer League returns this July with 2 days of NBA triple header action and world-class entertainment. The Sacramento Kings will host the Warriors, Lakers, Heat, and newly added Spurs and Hornets. Single-day tickets start at just $22. Ticket holders for Wednesday, July 5th will be able to see a live concert by country artist Nico Moon. Visit kings.com/California Classic for more information and to buy your tickets today.
If you're hiring, it can feel like trying to find a needle in a haystack. You can hope the right person comes along, or you can just use ZipRecruiter. Like Marco, president of operations at Telly Tires and Auto Centers.
ZipRecruiter helps me find all the right people, even the most difficult jobs to fill.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. Now try ZipRecruiter free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter.com/FREE.
Hey, you want to be around people having a great time? You need to come check out Capital Casino, offering the most varieties of table games in the region in the friendliest environment. Come for the food, which is awesome, of course, and stay and play. Conveniently located in downtown Sacramento at 411 North 16th Street, right there in downtown Sacramento for over 20 years. Cap Casino, best food, best games, and of course, the best action. And please gamble responsibly. 1-800-GAMBLER.
I'm Ken Korak with your Green and Gold Report, brought to you by Xfinity 10G, the next generation network. Well, Major League Baseball has announced the rosters for this year's Futures game, July 8th up in Seattle. The A's will have Tyler Soderstrom, the #1 pick back in 2020 out of Turlock, 16 homers and 51 RBIs this year in AAA. And the outfielder Lawrence Butler, who had a great spring this year, and he's batting .284 with an .810 OPS in AA. Ken Korak here, introducing you to the Xfinity 10G network. Xfinity is undergoing a multi-year network evolution, giving you a powerful connection today while building toward a faster, more reliable tomorrow. The Xfinity 10G network gives you the fastest internet with even faster speeds rolling out all the time. You also get a consistent and reliable connection when everyone's online, even during peak hours. That's a home run. If you want to learn more, go online at xfinity.com/10G.
Y'all ready to do it again, Sacramento? Country in the Park 2 is coming to Heart Health Park at Cal Expo Saturday, September 9th with Cole Swindell, Chris Jansen, Dylan Scott, and more. Plus, a mechanical bull, line dancing saloon, and all the food. Tickets start at $40 or grab your Coors Light Y'all Access passes for $125. For more info, visit SactownSports.com. Country in the Park 2, brought to you by Hoblet Dodge, E2 Family Winery, and Hyatt Vacation Club.
Guys, did you know your testosterone level impacts your energy, libido, sleep, weight, hair loss, mood, and even ED? And right now, Revive Men's Health Sacramento will check your testosterone for free. They've helped thousands of men since 2011 feel and perform better. They're so confident they can help you, they even guarantee it. Schedule your free testosterone test, exam, and consultation today. Call 916-277-8599. That's 916-277-8599. Or visit ReviveMen'sHealth.com.
Sactown Sports
Headlines. I'm Simone with your Sactown Sports headlines. Sacramento Kings have re-signed forward Harrison Barnes to a 3-year, $54 million contract. Kings have also traded for guard Chris Duarte from the Indiana Pacers in exchange for future draft compensation. NBA free agency frenzy tips off in less than 30. Don't go anywhere. I'm Simone. Those are your Sactown Sports headlines. One of Cattle's final wishes here at Sactown Sports was to lasso down Kings cowboy Frankie C for one last ride. Please welcome in Kings insider Frankie Cardicelli to Cattle's and Ramie.
Your afternoon home for Kings talk and more.
This is Cattles and Ramie
on Sactown Sports.
A lot of people saying nice things in the YouTube chat, and I appreciate that. The problem is like I can't like it. There's no way to like it. And that's bothering me.
What do you mean? Can't you put a heart on it?
No, I don't think I can.
What do you mean?
No? What do you mean? What I mean? Exactly what I just said.
Can't react to YouTube comments now.
That's a bummer.
Huh.
So
well, you're telling everybody right now you like it.
You're vocalizing it.
Look in the camera and tell them you like it.
Well, I can't really look into the camera. I'm side saddled here. Simone's gonna have to fix this. She's on her way. Simone's got a lot going on.
Back of my head looks nice.
A lot going on today for Simone. She's the only one in the behind the glass with us.
She's doing it all.
Do you style that?
Can
Frankie?
you mute your computer?
Yeah. You know,
the back, are you one of those people who has a mirror facing the mirror?
No, I actually don't.
So you can see the back of your head?
I don't. I'm due for a haircut.
Because it's well groomed.
Thank you.
Say, yeah.
Thank you. I'm due for a haircut, but it's
same.
It's summer. We're just gonna let it ride.
Gonna let it ride.
Just let it ride.
Gonna get a little wild.
Get a little crazy. It's free agency, let the hair go.
Some asking me where I'm going. I'm going back home eventually to New England. Family reasons, stuff to take care of. So that's that. Again, not going to spend a ton of time on that each hour. Today's about the NBA free agency period beginning in roughly 29 minutes, Frankie C. And Frankie is with us thanks to the Folsom Lake Honda hotline. Folsom Lake Honda, your one-stop Honda shop. Wow. And it gets a little powerful, doesn't it?
It does. It gets very powerful. They must love it over there.
Frankie, let's get your thoughts first, obviously, with the news of yesterday, the biggest news so far for the Kings this offseason, HB coming back.
Yeah, I think a lot of Kings fans, and myself included, I think a lot of us kind of got excited when that deal was made to move Rashawn Holmes and free up that money. You kind of start running wild and thinking, no, okay, you got the Kuzmas out there, the Chris Middletons. Who can the Kings maybe pry away? They had such a good team, a lot of success, obviously.
Yeah.
I think what we saw here was confirmation that, and again, free agency begins at 3:00, but free agency really started weeks, maybe months ago.
It's been going.
It's been ongoing. These teams are talking. They're breaking all these rules. Everyone does it. I think Shams or someone has reported that there's 15 deals that are reportedly ready to roll as soon as 3:00 happens. These teams are talking for a while. What we have seen here is the Kings probably turn over those stones. There probably wasn't a mutual reaction with the Kuzmas or Middletons or down the line. And when it comes down to it, Harrison Barnes, who multiple reports had the Indiana Pacers linked to him, the Rick Carlisle, Tyrese Halliburton connection. If the Kings are to be in a position where you don't get Kyle Kuzma, where you don't get Chris Middleton and down the line, and you don't get Harrison Barnes, what are you left with? And for a team that has struggled since 1998, really, they've had 4 small forwards that were, I'd say, above average or average. Peja Stojakovic, Ron Artest, Metta World Peace, Rudy Gay, Harrison Barnes. The Kings have struggled to find stability. That's 4 small forwards over 25 years. So I think you have to have a guy that's a veteran, a leader. Like you said, Nick, earlier, I was listening on the way in that this contract's not going to look so significant in a couple of years. This new salary cap, this is going to be blown out of the water by deals going down the line. So the Kings need a small forward or an interchangeable guy like Harrison Barnes, and why it's not the sexiest option, it's the safest option.
And they're not done yet. Like, there's still $18 million or so of cap room that they have to use out there on the free agent market.
Among other moves that could happen. We don't know. We don't know what could happen.
We have no idea.
We really don't know. And I think last night was I think you said, Ramie, does Twitter can kind of skewer negative. It was a
disappointment and despair out there.
And the last thing I wanted to do was tell fans how to fan. I mean, I grew up in this area. I get it. The Kings fans, it's been a rough road. And I think when you're at a point where they finally have all this money to spend and you don't bring in one of those marquee guys as of today, because who knows what kind of move can get moved, what money can get moved around, and other things could happen down the next couple of weeks. But when you don't see that happen and culminate immediately, you react. The knee-jerk reaction is negative. I get that. But Maya McNair, reigning executive of the year, who has pressed the right buttons time and time again, I have faith he's going to press the right buttons again. We just have to give him a little more time than the evening before free agency to let him work.
Frankie C with us here in studio. One of the things I talked about this to start the show, Frankie, one of the reasons why I graded the Barnes move a B-. I'm not ecstatic about it. It's solid. But one of the things that I do think is really good for the Kings with this move, unless they go get somebody, and I mentioned this yesterday to Ramie too, we don't know if HB is going to start. They might go out and get another big, and now all of a sudden Barnes is coming off the bench, and I think that changes people's kind of minds. Christian Wood is a name. If he gets brought in and you have Barnes coming off the bench, you have Wood starting. There's still other things that can happen. But right now, as currently constituted, what I like about it is Keegan's development. Because if you bring in somebody like Kuzma, Frankie, I don't know if you agree with this, but you bring somebody in like Kuzma, that could stunt the growth. It could get in the way of Keegan's growth of becoming maybe that number 2 scorer.
Absolutely. And yesterday, even at Summer League practice, Luke Laux, the Kings assistant coach who's going to be head of the Summer League team, said a quote that I think De'Aaron Fox did the same thing. He said, in order for us to take the next step as a team and organization, Keegan Murray needs to take the next step. And that's something that De'Aaron Fox said at All-Star Weekend in Salt Lake City, that they know that he told Keegan, the team knows, he knows Keegan's got to be that guy in order for this team to advance. And Keegan Murray, in my opinion, possesses that ability. I mean, seeing what he did in his first year as a rookie, and yeah, he was an older rookie, sure, but just seeing his skill set and how he advanced over the year and how in the playoffs, when the pressure was at its peak and he was struggling in games 1 through 3, he found a way to answer the call. He made adjustments. He was making some of the biggest shots in Game 7 that kept the Kings close at the beginning part of the second half. He was making floaters in the lane. His game can expand. He's young. I agree completely. Kyle Kuzma is somebody who, and the reports there are saying that Kyle Kuzma wants to go somewhere where he can have the ball in his hands more times than not.
Yes.
Coming to a team where De'Aaron Fox runs the show, and De'Aaron Fox is one of the best players in the league, probably isn't an ideal setting for Kyle Kuzma and at this point in his career. So it's all about the system, and Keegan Murray fits his system. And again, as Harrison Barnes starts to progress back into a fourth, fifth option role, even more so, Keegan Murray possesses the ability to be a top 2, top 3 option on this team.
Just want to jump in here for a second because somewhat surprising news, not huge news just yet, but Jake Fisher reports that in a turn of events, Phoenix is now going to pull their qualifying offer for center Jock Landale. So that's somebody, Landale's somebody that you could possibly look at as a backup big here in Sacramento. I don't know if it's somebody that would interest Monty or not, but somebody who could certainly back up Domas and give you quality minutes. He outplayed DeAndre Ayton at times last year. And Kevin O'Connor from The Ringer, he quote tweeted that tweet from Fisher and said, Phoenix is up to something. So this could be the beginning of something else. So we'll just keep an eye on that.
Kyrie?
But just wanted to.
Huh?
Oh, God. They better not.
Can we not do that?
They better not. You can't, right? I mean, they'd have to pay the taxes, and that would be insane. And I don't know. He's not taking a vet minimum deal.
Frank, you said you don't understand the salary cap. I don't know if it's a real thing. I don't know what teams can and can't do, because every time I hear can't, I see a team doing it. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I thought big threes and super teams were a thing of the past, and Phoenix is putting together exactly that and trying to add Kyrie Irving to it.
How about the Clippers? The Clippers almost had to pay $100 million.
Yep.
Because of, was it Eric Gordon? One person, $100 million. Yeah, the salary cap, it's especially the new collective bargaining agreement. I think it's 645 pages or 700 pages. I haven't had a chance to comb through that just yet. So I will at some point. But again, the Kings have never really operated as a team with space before. So this is new to a lot of people. Obviously, Keith Smith, who you guys have had on, he's great at helping you kind of get your head wrapped around it. Bobby Marks from ESPN does a great job. Those are the guys I lean on. But yeah, it's definitely something that is very fluid. It's very, very fluid.
I am the son in the YouTube chat. Is Jock better than Alex Len? Yes.
Absolutely.
Yes. 100%. That would be an upgrade.
Yes.
That would be an upgrade. So that's an interesting name to keep an eye on. I don't know how much money he's going to fetch. It seems like a lot of these reports about this guy's going to get this and this guy's going to get that might have been a little bit too heavy on the money side early on this. Like Kyle Kuzma is a perfect example of that, where a lot of people, he's going to make $30 million, and maybe he gets $30 million a year. But the latest is, it sounds like, according to Mark Stein, Kuzma is going to end back up in Washington. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, maybe he gets the big bag from Washington because they stink and they just want to spend money on somebody. They got to reach the salary floor, right? You got to spend 90% of the cap.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe that's, maybe Kuzma gets paid and he gets to take 40 shots a game next year, which might thrill him. But, he was the hot name and everybody was going after him, and now he might return to a terrible team. 916-339-1140 is the text line. Phone number is 1-800-920-1140. We will get to some more of your reaction. Again, Frankie C is in studio. We'll go over some of the early notes of today regarding free agency before the true noise, the true chaos begins at 3 o'clock. We are 20 minutes away from NBA free agency. What will the Kings do next? What big move's going to happen next in the NBA today? Gets all that coming up next. Cattles and Ramie, Sactown Sports.
Cattles and Ramie.
Sactown Sports. Sactown Sports is your source for the 49ers.
Oh, it was awful. It was awful.
Did that leave a bitter taste in your mouth?
Oh, yeah, for sure. Me and Kyle had a long meeting the other day. We watched tape. We talked about it. We put it behind us. And just going through the tape and just look how sluggish and like how bad it looked on tape. Like I said, just reflecting on last offseason, it kind of played a big role in that. And I never put nothing like that back on tape again.
Tune into Sactown Sports at SactownSports.com for the latest 49ers offseason developments.
The story of the nurse and the foot pain that nearly brought him down.
I feel like I'm giving people their lives back.
Robert lived to take care of his patients, but he couldn't do it unless he took care of his foot pain.
I have plantar fasciitis. It'll almost put you on your knees. That's how much it hurts.
His own recovery started when he got fitted for arch supports at the Good Feet store.
Now that I'm pain-free, I can make these people feel better.
Can't beat that. Stop by or schedule your free fitting at goodfeet.com. The universal truth of women's shoes. The cuter they are, the more they hurt.
You have to put your best foot forward, and if your best foot is an ugly shoe, oh my goodness.
Lisanne thought she had to choose between looking good and feeling good until she got fitted for arch supports at the Good Feet store.
Now I can wear the shoes that I've picked out because I like the way they look, not because they were comfortable.
Good Feet relieved her pain and her fashion dilemma. Stop by or schedule your free fitting at goodfeet.com.
The Good Feet store in Sacramento, Roseville, Stockton, Modesto, and Vacaville. Online at goodfeet.com.
At Lowe's, we're always bringing pros more ways to save. Right now, save on Valspar 5-gallon Ultra Flat Paint. Was $131, now just $123. Plus, MVP's Pro Rewards members earn up to 900 bonus points with the purchase of a Graco Magnum X7 paint sprayer. Lowe's knows pros. Valspar offer valid through 8/2. Selection varies by location. Estimated bonus points valid through 6/30. Actual awarded bonus points calculated on purchase price before taxes and after applicable discounts, if any. Subject to program terms and conditions.
We're going abroad for the first time in years. To Spain. So we started using Babbel.
And started learning Spanish fast.
With Babbel, you can start having conversations in another language in just 3 weeks.
¿Cómo te llamas? ¿Cómo te llamas?
When you learn a language, you want to actually use it. Babbel is designed with that goal in mind.
In just 3 weeks, we're starting to have conversations in Spanish. Gracias, Babbel.
Babbel, language for life. Now try Babbel for free at Babbel.com. That's Babbel.com.
The PGA club fitters at the Hagen Oaks Player Performance Studio know that golf should be fun. They also know that players of all abilities will hit the ball farther and straighter, play better golf, shoot lower scores, and have more fun if they get fitted before they purchase golf clubs. Hagen Oaks delivers the same technology and major brands used to fit PGA and LPGA professionals. See how the game can be even more fun. Hagen Oaks Player Performance Studio fittings are available 7 days a week. Make yours today by calling 916-808-2531. That's 808-2531.
Attention contractors and DIY enthusiasts. Don't miss the ultimate DeWalt sale event at Fasteners Tool Outlet in Sacramento next Saturday, July 8th. Unbeatable prices on DeWalt power tools and one-day-only deals with free batteries and tools. Grab a 4-piece brushless combo kit for $299 and save up to 50% on select hand tools and accessories. Again, that's July 8th from 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. at 6701 Power Inn Road. For more info, visit fastenersinc.net. The City of Sacramento offers rebates to help with your outdoor water-saving projects this season. Rebates are available for landscape conversions, smart controllers, and irrigation upgrades that improve your water efficiency. Learn more at sacwaterwise.com.
Have you Googled yourself lately? Are there negative posts from an ex-employee or from a former client? Maybe an outdated news article or sensitive personal information about your family? Search engines don't always get it right. For right or wrong, it's your reputation on the line. That's where Reputation Defender by Norton comes in. One of the most trusted names in online reputation repair, Reputation Defender has been fixing people's search results for over 15 years. Their cutting-edge approaches help you to wipe away unwanted information in your search results. They also promote the good stuff so that it rises to the top, helping you put your best foot forward. Your good name is too valuable to leave to the whims of a Google algorithm. Take control with Reputation Defender. You can start by getting your free reputation report card at reputationdefender.com or call 800-401-6681 to speak to an expert. That's 800-401-6681.
With you 1 mile at a time during the afternoon drive. Cattles and Ramie.
Sactown Sports.
I'm very confused right now. We're in the studio, so obviously we don't have the audio on TV.
Yeah.
And we got the ESPN free agency special, and Dave McMiniman's on there. And on the Cryon, which is the message below them, right?
Yes.
It said, Dave McMiniman, Lakers will offer Austin Reeves 4-year, $52 million deal. They changed some of the wording because they realized they were wrong. Because the first thing was a little off. Wasn't the rumor he was going to get like $100 million?
So it said that the Lakers will, quote, they are ready to match any offer sheet up to $100 million. But
so they're going to offer him 4 for 52.
$13 million a year. Did I do the math right? Yeah, that's $13 million a year.
It's not bad. It's not bad.
I mean, that's what I think. Austin
it's pretty
Reeves
smart,
was.
right?
Yeah.
Because if you're going to match, I don't know if Austin Reeves will look at this as them lowballing him. That's the risk. If he thinks he's worth 80 million, 100 million, and then
Well, I mean, what was it? Houston's ready to throw money at a bunch of people. I think they were maybe ready to throw money at Austin Reeves. I mean, you never know. But
here's something else here, according to Mark Stein. Draymond Green is expected to sign a 4-year, $100 million deal with the Warriors. That's according to Mark Stein.
He got the 100 he wanted, huh?
So it looks like Draymond Green will end up going back to Golden State, according to Mark Stein, for 4 years, $100 million. Look, they can have him. I did not want Draymond here. I didn't think he was a good fit here. I don't know why people were trying to force the idea on me that he was going to be a good fit.
I get that you didn't.
Out.
I get that you didn't want him here.
Three non-shooters in your starting five,
but I would
not great.
I would have rather he went
for a team that wants to take 43s a game.
I would have rather he went somewhere other than Golden State.
Detroit,
because
I don't know, man. So here's the thing, though. Like Golden State's, they ain't getting any younger, like all of us, right?
There's still a problem for one. There's still a problem for one more year.
What's their average age in the starting five?
So are we assuming that Chris Paul is starting?
Yes.
So it's going to go Paul, Curry, Clay.
That's what Mark Spears said when the deal happened. He said CP3 is coming in as a starter.
Yeah. Paul, Curry, Clay, Draymond, and then probably Looney.
No, it would be Wiggins and then
Wiggins.
Green. They want to go super small.
Okay, so Wiggins helps that a little bit. So then you have Paul's 38, Steph's 35.
Yeah, Clay's going to be 35, 34, 35,
34.
Right? 34.
Draymond's going to be 34. And then you have Wiggins is probably 27, 28. So yeah.
This season here's my thought on the Warriors season. This is either going to work out and Mike Dunleavy's going to look like a genius, or this thing's going to burn down quickly.
I'm so confused about the dynamic of having Stephen Curry play off ball, and because Chris Paul, I mean, you could have Chris Paul float. I mean, but he's the best. He's one of the best, distributors of all time.
All handlers and distributors.
He's the point guard. So how can you make? I just don't know how you could make him play. Either of them play off ball.
I think they're thinking there is they led the league in turnovers last year, and I think they want the ball in sure hands with Chris Paul and to not be giving teams extra opportunities and extra shots with all the turnovers that we saw last year.
All right, so here's my other question for today. Are we going to follow Dropping Dimes 20 on Twitter because he's back? He's back.
Boy.
If nobody knows what we're talking about.
What's he got now?
He says Bruce Brown's going to the Pacers. It's done. So if
it's a Dimes bomb.
If nobody knows, or some of you don't know about this Dropping Dimes 20 thing. So at Dropping Dimes 20, he now has almost 50,000 followers. he or she literally started tweeting a couple weeks ago, and Dropping Dimes 20 nailed Bradley Beal to the Suns, the top 5 picks in the NBA draft. He also, or she was also, a full day ahead of any insider on the James Harden opting in and getting traded. This account has been right on everything that they've tweeted. And then yesterday, mysteriously, they went silent. They got kicked off of Twitter. Something happened there. Their account didn't exist for a little while or something.
Called the cops.
Yeah, and now
Twitter police.
And now Dropping Dimes 20 is back and saying that Bruce Brown to the Pacers is done.
He did also say, though, that Houston got Drake's twin. That's referring to Fred VanVleet. I mean, it looked like I just saw on Twitter a few minutes ago that I think Toronto is going to give him that 4th year that he wanted, though. And if that's the case, because they're meeting right at 3:00, I don't know.
Dropping Dimes also tweeted out, "My legacy is never on the line because I am him." Know that.
All right. We'll see about that.
So we'll see what happens. Some other notes here.
Who is this person?
Nobody knows.
He's got to be in a front office somewhere or something.
Has to be in the NBA.
So yeah,
in the NBA offices,
analytics intern for sure.
I have to imagine that this person, whoever it is, they could be like within the NBA offices, not like an NBA GM.
No, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, because they obviously know of like draft night. They know of everything going on.
I love it.
It's so funny.
The fact that I'm him, it's clearly a college intern. It's someone 19 to 20 years old. I am him that gives it away. Like, I know you're Gen Z now. I know that you're on some college internship and you're letting stuff leak that you're hearing from the office.
That yeah, I'd say I'd go up to 30 years old. With that. I think that's kind of,
I'm not cool enough to say that. I'm 29 almost. So
I'm glad that you.
I would never say that.
I'm old. Listen, it's great self-evaluation by Frankie, because it wouldn't sound great if Frankie was walking around saying I am him.
Can't do it.
All right, some other quick notes.
Can't do it.
Some other quick notes, Frankie.
Okay.
We talked about Kuzma likely going back to Washington, according to Mark Stein earlier today. Jacques Landale has been his qualifying offer pulled from him by Phoenix, so that's a name that we might want to pay attention to for the Kings here. Would be a nice backup big. The Heat offering Gabe Vincent $8 million per year has been kind of floated out there, so it sounds like the Heat are lowballing Gabe Vincent a little bit. People thought he might make $10 to $12 million off the postseason run. Bruce Brown, according to Dropping Dimes 20, will be a Pacer.
Sauces.
But was going to meet with the Rockets, the Mavs, the Knicks, and the Pacers. And earlier today, the rumor was that the Pacers were willing to go up to about $20 million a year for Bruce Brown. So
that's ridiculous.
So if Dropping Dimes 20 is right, we know why. It's the Pacers went $20 million a year.
Yeah.
And Bruce was like, I got to take that money.
That'd be absurd. My goodness.
And we got Joe Harris being traded today. The Nets sent Joe Harris and a couple of second-round picks to Detroit. That was interesting because Detroit was a team with a decent amount of cap space, and people thought that they might throw that cap space towards Cam Johnson. The working theory is that the Nets worked hand-in-hand with the Pistons to get them Joe Harris, so they didn't have to go through the whole circus of the offer sheet to Cam. And so there was some kind of, hey, you know what? We want to help our cap number out. We'll send you Joe Harris and a couple of picks and leave Cam alone. And Detroit was like, all right, we'll do it. Kyrie Irving, supposed to meet with the Rockets today.
Dario Saric, according to Mark Stein, very likely to land with the Warriors. I believe Dario Saric just returned from an ACL injury.
Just saw that, yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. So Dropping Dimes 20 is off the grid again.
What? His account's gone? Is they
got suspended or what?
Oh, he is? He's gone.
With 8 minutes left, 8 minutes before. The NBA 100% got this dude's cred pulled. Because he was breaking news before it was going to happen.
He didn't violate any rules.
I understand.
No rules were broken.
But somebody,
thank you.
Somebody with power, that's not a coincidence.
No.
He goes out there and says, Bruce Brown of the Pacers is done.
That means for $20 million.
And 3 minutes later, boom, gone.
Wow. Tinfoil hats on for this one. I'm actually on board now.
What if it's Kevin Durant?
That made me laugh. That was good. That was really good.
By the way, we'll see if this is true or not, but I have a terrible time with this person's name. Maybe you can help me, Frankie.
Okay.
Esfandiar Baraheni
better than
from Toronto.
Better than I can do.
Got me, man.
Is reporting right now that Fred VanVleet's going to stay. We'll see if it's true, but he says he's staying put.
I want to know what Dropping Dime says. That's what I want to know.
Well, he'd be wrong about that because he had him. He said Drake's twin is heading to Houston. Yeah, and that might have been wrong. Maybe.
All right, so we got to ask you at least one more Kings question here before we let you go. What do you want them to do? It sounds like Chris Duarte's in the mix. That's going to happen eventually when it gets finalized. Maybe a 3-team deal. That's why it's taken so long. And then, of course, you have HB coming back. What else do they need, Frankie?
In my opinion, they need to try and scour the market they need a shot blocking big. And whether that be on a vet minimum, what have you, they need someone that can come in and a serviceable backup for Domantas Sabonis, first and foremost in my mind. But general housekeeping, they probably bring Lyles back. I know there's mutual interest there, and I think it's something that could happen early on, maybe even today. I think that's something that could happen today, one of those moves, those early 3 p.m. moves. I think Sasha's going to be coming to Sacramento. For a long time, I've heard that there's mutual interest. I think that even more so when you hear the money that from Greece reports that he will be getting a deal more than he asked for. But I'm looking for a third string point guard too. A third string point guard. There's some names out there too. I think some people have thrown out. I think I'm looking at Tim Maxwell on Twitter talking about Dennis Smith Jr., someone who did play well at the beginning of the year for Charlotte. A guy that you can like a deli roll, but you need that. You need a backup center that can play defense. Ideally, I think a defensive-minded 3 or 4 would be nice. I mean, Kessler Edwards was just brought back. Maybe that's what they're trying to do is make him mold him into one of those players. But I'm more so looking for the deals that you don't see coming. And Monty is so good at those. And they're deals that happen. And then when they take place, you're like, oh, the Kings kind of needed a guy like that. Because you think about Terrence Davis, he's more than likely gone now. I think Chris Duarte, that move, they're very similar in their play styles.
Right.
I think one thing I've been seeing from people that were breaking down Chris Duarte's game is he plays a little more within himself. He's a smart basketball player. He's not as much as a wild card. I think Terrence Davis could bring a lot of firepower, a lot of energy to a game, but things could also get away from him at times. Chris Duarte could bring stability in that regard. So there's one box that's checked, but Kings have some money. They have some flexibility. Will they make any moves that we didn't see coming? I don't know for sure, but I'm very, very excited, and I trust Monty McNair fully.
All right, free agency begins in just a couple minutes. We'll have all the breaking news for you next.
Let's go. Cattles
and Ramie.
Sactown Sports. Check out the Golf to Go Hour with Frank LaRosa every week on Sactown Sports. Get the latest on equipment, area courses, people who play the great game, and plenty of good conversations about golf. It's the Golf to Go Hour every week with Frank LaRosa on Sactown Sports. Golf to Go is brought to you by the Hagen Oaks Golf Super Shop, America's most awarded golf facility. Naturewood Home Furnishings, where it's all about choices and always about quality.
All new spring deals are here at Lowe's. Start planting your garden this weekend with Bonnie 11.8-ounce vegetables. Buy 4 for $10. Plus, liven up your patios and decks with fresh blooms. Select 1.5-gallon hanging baskets or 2 for $20. Lowe's knows spring. Lowe's knows home improvement. Offers valid through 5/17. In-store only. Actual plant size and selection varies by location. While supplies last, excludes Alaska and Hawaii.
Hey, movie fans, the Esquire IMAX Theater in downtown Sacramento is now serving adult beverages. Playing this week, Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny, the IMAX experience.
I've been looking for this all my life.
Give 'em hell, Indiana Jones!
See Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny on the largest screen in Sacramento. Getting tickets is easy. Visit IMAX.com/Sacramento for showtimes and reserved seating. Plus, join the free IMAX Directors Club for special member pricing on tickets and concession items each time you visit the Esquire IMAX Theater.
Did you know that money market accounts offer higher dividends than a traditional savings account, all while still being able to access your money at any time? Hey, Jason Ross here, and I want to tell you to step up your earning power with a Level Up money market savings account at Safe Credit Union. With competitive dividend rates, you can take your savings to the next level. Visit safecu.org/levelup for more information and to open up an account today. Insured by NCUA.
Only one radio program captures the excitement of hunting and fishing as it happens. The award-winning California Sportsman with Sep Hendrickson. Only California Sportsman takes you where the action is. Live on the water, live in the blind, and live with the top pros and experts in outdoor sports. California Sportsman with Fishing Hall of Famer Sep Hendrickson is your premier destination for all things outdoors. Sep's Saturday Morning Outdoors. Ultimate Bass and California Sportsman, 5 a.m. to 8 a.m. Saturdays on Sactown Sports 1140.
Y'all ready to do it again, Sacramento? Country in the Park 2 is coming to Heart Health Park at Cal Expo Saturday, September 9th with Cole Swindell, Chris Jansen, Dylan Scott, and more. Plus, a mechanical pool, line dancing saloon, and all the food. Tickets start at $40 or grab your Coors Light Y'all Access passes for $125. For more info, visit SactownSports.com. Country in the Park 2, brought to you by Hoblet Dodge, E2 Family Winery, and Hyatt Vacation Club.
At Lowe's, we're always bringing pros more ways to save. Right now, save on Valspar 5-gallon Ultra Flat Paint. Was $131, now just $123. Plus, MVP's Pro Rewards members earn up to 900 bonus points with the purchase of a Graco Magnum X7 paint sprayer. Lowe's knows pros. Valspar offer valid through 8/2. Selection varies by location. Estimated bonus points valid through 6/30. Actual awarded bonus points calculated on purchase price before taxes and after applicable discounts, if any. Subject to program terms and conditions.
We're going abroad for the first time in years, to Spain. So we started using Babbel.
And started learning Spanish fast.
With Babbel, you can start having conversations in another language in just 3 weeks.
¿Cómo te llamas?
¿Cómo te llamas?
When you learn a language, you want to actually use it. Babbel is designed with that goal in mind.
In just 3 weeks, we're starting to have conversations in Spanish. Gracias, Babbel.
Babbel, language for life. Now try Babbel for free at Babbel.com. That's BABBEL.com.
KHTKAM Sacramento, KYMX HD2 Sacramento.
Take it on the local level.
Live and local, 6 a.m. to 6 p.m., Monday through Friday.
From the Power Business Technology Toshiba Studios. Sactown Sports. Sactown Sports.
Headlines.
Good afternoon, Sacramento. I'm Simone, and it is 3:01 out here on the west side. So welcome to NBA Free Agency. Let's get into the latest trades, news, and notes. Here's Cattles and Ramie.
With you 1 mile at a time during the afternoon drive. Cattles and Ramie.
Sactown Sports.
Here we go! NBA free agency. It's officially official right now. Cattles and Ramie on this Friday, getting you ready for your holiday weekend, getting you ready for all the NBA news. And here's the first big one. We talked about it, Ramie, a couple minutes ago. Mark Stein was saying that it looked like Draymond Green likely going to be a Golden State Warrior. That is true. According to Shams Charania, Draymond Green agrees to a 4-year deal worth $100 million. Here's a little bit extra, though. That deal contains a player option in year 4. So it could end up being a 3-year, $75 million deal. Player option for year 4. So Draymond Green staying with the Warriors. I don't think anybody is surprised by this.
No. This seemed to be the way that this thing was going all along, Nick, and I think it's the best move for Golden State and for Draymond Green. I think it would have been very hard for Draymond to integrate somewhere else, and I think that it would have been very hard for the Warriors to replace him. So this makes sense for all parties involved.
And, of course, with the player option, that's a great deal for Draymond because it gives him the flexibility. He gets $25 million a year for the next 3 years. He'll be, 36 years old or so when he's walking into that player option, and maybe, just maybe, if he plays well enough in the next 3 years, maybe, just maybe, you will see him opt out of that deal and end up signing like a 2-year deal worth 60 or 50 or 40, and he gets a little bit of extra money there, right? So that's a good deal for Draymond. Fascinating situation in Golden State, though. You got Chris Paul, who's 38 years old, Steph Curry, who's 35, Clay's 34, Draymond's 33, 34 years old. And Mike Dunleavy, with that trade to bring in Chris Paul, he was announcing from the mountaintops that, they were going to go all in for this. They were going to go all in for this. By the way, Ramie, if you were wondering, Alex Golden from Blue Wire Pods tweets out, and this would confirm dropping dimes 20 before he was taken off of Twitter.
Free dropping dimes.
Per source, the Pacers are signing Bruce Brown Jr. So, again, per source, Bruce Brown Jr. is going to the Indiana Pacers. It was reported earlier today that the Pacers were willing to go as high as $20 million a year to sign Brown. This is a guy that made like $6.5 million last year.
Yeah.
And he obviously had a very good run, very, very good run by all standards in the postseason. And you have Bruce Brown getting it done. Okay, we have some Kings news. So if we have do you have the breaking news ready, Simone?
When it breaks,
we have it first.
It's Sactown Sports breaking news.
All right, this is according to Chris Haynes from Bleacher Report and TNT. Trey Lyles is returning to the Sacramento Kings. Trey Lyles has agreed to a deal with the Kings.
I like that.
No numbers just yet. When the numbers come out, we will give them to you. But Trey Lyles is returning to the Kings on a new deal. We'll wait to see the details. But Ramie, again, this not too much of a surprise. It had been reported, over the last, couple weeks that this was going to happen. James Ham is reporting that it's a 2-year deal. So James Ham says 2-year deal for Trey Lyles. And he is waiting on the final numbers. So we don't have the money yet, but it's a 2-year deal for Trey Lyles. And when you saw Harrison Barnes come back yesterday, Ramie, we kind of felt Trey Lyles would be the next domino to come back here.
And I'm okay with this. This goes back to what we were saying, Nick, that while, yes, you want them, and I still want them to take a step forward, one thing you couldn't afford to do was take a step back. And you very well could have been sitting there holding the bag and watching free agency happen and losing Harrison Barnes and Trey Lyles in the process and not getting those big fish that a lot of Kings fans had their eyes set on because they chose to go elsewhere for money or for other reasons. So at the very least, you're keeping the cupboard stocked when you talk about the talent and the roster of this Kings team, and you hope there are still more additions. But now you pretty much got the squad back that you had last year, all the major pieces or players of it.
Big day for Chris Verlaud. Big day, big day for Chris Verlaud. He's a Trey Bay, as we know, so he's very excited about this.
I'm seeing a lot of Trey Bays on Twitter right
What
now.
are the implications for Sasha now, do you guys think?
Well, let's hold on that for a second. I want to first mention, Trey Lyles in his game. I've been a fan of him. I liked him when he was brought in. And I think he's a really good fit. I think he's a really good bench guy. He's a solid 8 or 9 guy on a team, right? If he's your 8th guy or 9th guy, you feel really good. I have no issue with Trey Lyles coming back. Absolutely zero issue. Now we'll see if there's anything else up the sleeve, but now the cap space starts to get taken away a little bit, right? If Lyles is going to get 7-8 million, which you think he might, now you're looking at 26 million of that 35 million that you had.
Mm-hmm.
So now you're working with about 9 million.
And we still might have a Domas extension in the offseason.
Yes, a couple of other notes here. Drew Eubanks. I know some people in the YouTube chat wanted Eubanks for the Kings. He is going to the Suns, which you can imagine is why Jock Landale, his qualifying offer was pulled. I don't think it's a coincidence. Eubanks goes to Phoenix, so that's why they do that. Kobe White, Ramie, is going to run it back with your Chicago Bulls.
Oh, thank God.
Kobe White is getting a 3-year, $33 million deal.
I was really worried the Bulls were going to lose Kobe White in free agency.
To stay. And here's some big news right now. This is from Adrian Wojnarowski. The Kyle Kuzma decision has been made, Ramie.
Oh.
Kyle Kuzma is going to return to the Wizards. On a 4-year, $102 million contract. So he's going to make just a little bit more than $25 million a year to be a Washington Wizard.
Okay, Kuzma at 25 or Harrison at 18? Now that we know what it would have cost.
Harrison at 18. Yeah,
Okay.
I didn't want anything to do. As I've said, I want nothing to do when you get to 25 million plus with Kyle Kuzma. No, the most I would have gone for Kyle Kuzma was probably the same deal.
Shams reporting Taurean Prince is finalizing a deal with the Los Angeles Lakers.
Yes, so Taurean Prince is going to the Lakers. That's because they were eyeing Bruce Brown. I would imagine that's probably for the vet minimum, but we'll see. I mean, that's a good pickup for the Lakers to get some length, to get some 3-point shooting, to get some help on the wing. So that's some really good news for the Lakers. It's not as big of a move as they wanted, according to some reports that we've read. Again, they were looking at, Brooke Lopez. They were looking at Bruce Brown. But the Taurean Prince move is a good one. Here's another name, Ramie, that we can tell people about. And I know a lot of people were also bringing up this individual for the Kings. Josh Okogie is off the market. Okogie is going back to the Suns. So Josh Okogie is going to return to the Suns. He's going nowhere. So he is going to be a Phoenix Sun. So Kuzma, 4 years, $102 million. Draymond Green, 4 years, $100 million. 4th year is a player option. Pacers, Bruce Brown signs with Indiana. Josh Okogie returns to the Suns. Drew Eubanks goes to the Suns. Kobe White staying with the Bulls, 3 years, $33 million. Trey Lyles, though, is the news here locally. Lyles is going to return here to the Kings. It's a 2-year deal. It is a 2-year deal. So we're still waiting on the money. But it's a 2-year deal for Trey Lyles. Both Ramie and I are okay with that. Bringing Lyles back as a bench piece I will say it would lead you to believe, Ramie, that the Kings are not looking to upgrade from Harrison Barnes in the starting lineup. It would seem that, especially if Sasha Vezenkov comes in, and Frankie and I were talking about this during the break, maybe just maybe Vezenkov is seen more as a 3 than a 4 by the Kings. But if you're bringing back Harrison Barnes and you're bringing back Lyles, the idea of trying to upgrade from Barnes in the starting lineup doesn't look like that's going to be the plan, at least not for now.
The closer that we got to free agency starting, Nick, and we saw the rumors start to sort of turn the way that they turned, it seems that, and not that there isn't movement, we've already seen some guys, Bruce Brown, Taurean Prince, we've seen some role players change teams here, but the major players in free agency, Draymond, Kyle Kuzma, we're going to see what happens with Kyrie Irving, but I think most reports still leaning towards him returning to Dallas. We know James Harden is on the move most likely, but it seems like the major players in free agency and the ones who had a lot of suitors rumored to be after them in free agency are all going back to where they were already playing. Kuzma staying in Washington, Draymond in Golden State. Like I said, Kyrie will probably end up staying in Dallas. The only real major player who's going to be on the move, it seems, at this point is James Harden. And they still haven't worked out a trade.
Yeah, and so when you start looking at these deals, I mean, I think you feel, as we talked about yesterday and we talked about to start the show today, that Harrison Barnes deal, it looks better. It looks better when you see some of these other deals. Draymond getting 25. Kuzma getting 25. DeAndre Jordan, by the way, he is going to return to the Nuggets. Bates Diop, 2-year deal, $5 million with the Suns. So the Suns, you could see what the Suns are doing. The Suns are loading up on bench guys ASAP. They're getting all of these deals done quickly because they know they want yeses. And if they don't get a yes, they're moving on because they don't have a ton of money to utilize. So they're targeting their guys. If they get a yes, it's boom, here we go. Let's get this done. Sign it. It's over with. That's a good deal. Okay, we got the numbers for Trey Lyles and his deal. We'll give them to you in 90 seconds.
Catch the Oakland A's every weekend on Sactown Sports. Friday nights, Saturdays, and Sundays.
Sinking, that's going to get down for a hit. Around third to score is Tony Kemp. And the A's have taken the lead. Edge of the track, makes the catch. And the Athletics get a great win.
Sactown Sports, your weekend home for the Oakland A's.
Sactown Sports coverage of the Oakland A's is brought to you by Xfinity 10G, the next generation network.
Summertime is a great time to get your home evaluated for solar, and while you're at it, make sure your roof is in good shape for all seasons. Hey, Jason Ross here to tell you about ACR Solar and Home Services. Go to acrsolar.com to find out all the different things that they can provide for you. And while we're all watching utility costs go up, along with everything else, why not make the most of the sunshine beating down on your roof? Harness that solar power and cut those rising utility bills while at the same time improving the value of your home. ACR Solar and Home Services makes it easy with a simple evaluation that'll show you just what it would take to get your home generating savings that help your bottom line and help protect the environment. So start now, and while you're there, ACR Solar and Home Services can make sure your roof is in prime condition. So just go to acrsolar.com and start your savings today. ACR Solar and Home Services, quality, value, and integrity since 1979.
With you 1 mile at a time during the afternoon drive. Cattles and Ramie.
Sactown Sports.
All right, so how much money did the Kings pay Trey Lyles to keep him in town? Sam Amick, our friend, with the numbers. Ramie, it's a 2-year deal worth $16 million, so it's $8 million a year. There are no team options. That second year is not a team option. It's not a player option. It's just a straight 2 years, $16 million for Lyles. So when you look at Barnes and Lyles, the Kings will be spending a combined $26 million a year on those two players.
That's a lot for Trey Lyles. That is not what I thought Trey Lyles would be going for on the free agent market. It changes a little bit how I feel about the signing, Nick, and as their ability to improve on what they had last year continues to shrink. You know what I mean? I didn't think that would be the price tag for a Trey Lyles, and like you just said, now $26 million between him and Harrison Barnes to basically keep the same roster that you had last year. I don't know how Vezenkov factors into the remaining cap space. Should he accept whatever offer? We don't know exactly what the offer is out there. You said it might be, what is it? The room exception, the guest room exception.
Yeah.
Okay. For that's $7.7 million.
Yeah. Well, let me stop you there, because I got to find the tweet right now. So this is from Tim Maxwell, who also pays attention to all the cap stuff from the Kings Herald. And he just tweeted out, it feels like the trade deal is going to be cap space or an exception, because that's more than early bird rights could pay. If you have early bird rights, it means you could pay a little bit more. You could, there's a certain amount of money you can pay. So it looks like it's going to either be an exception, or it's going to be cap space.
Okay. So, but right now they have approximately $10 million still to work with.
Approximately, yes.
For after Barnes and after Lyles.
Here's what I'll say. Right now, again, other things can happen. We've said that over and over and over again. Right now, they're running it back. So far, that's the decision. They're running it back. They traded Holmes, and they did not use the 24th pick in the draft, which you have to put along with the Harrison Barnes deal somewhat, right? Because that helped create some of that cap space. Right now, because I see Patrick Donaldson saying there can still be a trade. I understand. There's a lot of things that can still happen. But right now, which is all we can go off of, I can't tell you what's going to happen on July 15th. Right now, the Kings are running it back. They had about $35.5 million of cap space. They have used $26 million of that to bring back HB and Trey Lyles. They still have $9-10 million left. They still would have an exception left, so there could be more moves. We all agree with that. We all recognize it. We all acknowledge it. But if you're telling me at the end of the day that the Kings run it back, I think it's a mistake.
And I'm 100% with you. You got to improve on it, because first of all, Nick, I read this morning. We've talked about the fortunate health that they had last year. Over 900 minutes between their 5 starters played. The next closest team was in the 700s. You're not going to be that healthy again. And on top of that, you got teams in the West that are improving, that are adding, that are loading up this offseason and trying to surpass the Kings and whoever else is in front of them, trying to leapfrog them. And I think running it back and counting on now again, I'm a believer that your best avenue to improve is self-improvement and guys developing from within. But other than Keegan Murray, tell me who's taking a huge jump or a huge step in their development next year. Are you counting on chemistry and a second year in Mike Brown's system and this team being that much better? Because I think that's fool's gold right there if that's what you're counting on to improve and keep up, if not pass, the other teams in the Western Conference that you're trying to compete with. Running it back is simply not good enough. Let's see what they do with the rest of this cap space that they have, but running it back, if that's the plan, is just not good enough.
So a couple of updates here. Taurean Prince is a Laker, as we told you. According to Adrian Wojnarowski, that deal is a 1-year, $4.5 million deal. Okay, so 1 year, $4.5 million for Taurean Prince to go to the Lakers. This is mind-blowing. We talked about Bruce Brown going to the Pacers, and the report today was that the Pacers were willing to spend $20 million a year. Ramie, they spent more than $20 million a year on Bruce Brown.
What?
According to Malika Andrews, Brown gets a 2-year, $45 million deal
good for
with
him,
Indiana.
Man. Really good for him.
More money.
So that's $22.5 million a year for Bruce Brown. That is a gigantic gigantic contract. And great for Brown, but that's an insane contract for the Pacers.
That is silly.
Yeah, Brown.
Thank you.
I mean, Bruce Brown is a guy who, and I love him. I love Bruce Brown as a player. But $22.5 million a year?
I tried to tell folks, man, some silly money was going to get thrown around today.
Holy
Brace yourselves.
crap.
So a lot of this is not going to make sense.
Holy crap.
Honestly, the Kyle Kuzma deal kind of makes sense when you look at it now. $25 million a year for him. If Bruce Brown is getting what, $22 million a year?
I mean, my goodness,
NBA money is
$22.5 million.
NBA money is silly, and I love it. I'm happy for these guys. Get that bag.
Wow. And
happy
of course,
for you today, Bruce Brown.
I mean, it's obviously a hit. It's obviously a hit to Denver, but Denver has some youth that they feel good about. And, you know, Christian Brown is one of those guys. They feel pretty good about him. So, you know, I think, look, Denver obviously could pay him, I think it was like $7.5 million at the most. So $22.5 million a year is just a huge sum of money. All right, some of the reaction here. We were talking about.
You've said a lot. Did you get the DeAndre Jordan move?
Yes, I did.
Okay, all right.
Jordan is going back to the Nuggets, right? So we got a couple of YouTube chats here. Pike 916, Cattles and Ramie on a Friday. Sactown Sports breaking the news all day with you up until 6 o'clock. NBA free agency day. Pike 916. We were talking about Kyle Kuzma. You know, he's getting just over $25 million a year from Washington, and that to me is too much money for Kyle Kuzma. I'm happy that the Kings walked away from Kuzma if they were even walking towards Kuzma. I don't know if that ever was a thing, but $25 million plus for Kuzma is too much for me. I think that's a good job by Monty not giving him that kind of a deal. And we got Pike 916 here says $25 million a year better be a true stud. Yeah. No thanks. And we asked you, we'll continue to ask you, HB for 18 or Kuzma for 25. I am so pro HB for 18 in that debate. I don't know if I could be any more pro. I think there's no doubt in my mind HB for 18 is the better deal. Dangerman 64 says HB all day. CK916 Ramie, I love Barnes off the bench. Not so pumped if he's the starter again next year.
It looks like he's the starter again next year.
I mean,
we
so
don't know
far.
There might be a trade somewhere in the works down the line, but at this point, it looks like he's a starter again next year.
All right, we got another gigantic deal. Shams Charania.
Oh.
I think we're starting to understand why Harrison Barnes is back with the Kings.
Shams is doing work today.
Jeremy Grant got 5 years, $160 million from the Blazers.
What?
Shams Charania, 5 years, $160 million.
Oh, you're loco, man.
Should have worked on my jumper.
$32 million a year.
And got that surgery. That would make me 8 inches taller.
On a 5-year term. On a 5-year term.
Good for him.
You have to.
God bless.
Dame Dolla's going nowhere, right? There's no chance Lillard's gone. They just paid all of that money to Jeremy Grant. The only reason you would do that is because you're keeping the band together.
You would think so.
There's no way you would turn around and trade Dame Dolla at this point.
You would think so.
Paying that kind of money.
Unless they see him as part of a new young core, to put around Scoot. I don't know.
So CK916 says, so basically we traded our first round pick to run it back and not improve. As of right now, yes. That's the assessment. That's what's happened. You right now, you're running it back. Right now, you are running it back. This is a deal as well that's coming through for the Celtics. This is actually really good business for the Celtics, and this is surprising. So we all knew that Kristaps Porzingis, that had been reported that he's going to get an extension as part of that deal with the Celtics, right? Kristaps could have gotten up to $77 million. It would have been a 2-year, $77 million deal if he got the most that he could get. Apparently, Kristaps is helping the Celtics out because he is signing a 2-year, $60 million deal. So $30 million a year, that's not bad. That's actually a good deal for the Celtics. So that's another big extension that's going to happen. Looks like Kristaps Porzingis will be signing an extension with the Celtics. 2 years, $60 million. So that's, you're looking at $17 million less in total money. So
Jeremy Grant deal.
They save about $8 million on that.
Good Lord.
Yeah, Jeremy Grant, 5 years, $160 million. All right, we're just getting underway. I mean, free agency's 26 minutes old. We have a lot to get to. We want your thoughts. The Kings right now, again, I can't stress it enough. We fully understand that there's a lot of offseason left. But right now, the Kings have run it back. HB, Trey Lyles back. Chris Duarte earlier this morning, according to Shams. The Kings are nearing a deal for Duarte from the Pacers. That would be a really nice piece. I love that move if it gets done. We'll get your reaction on the Kings. We'll get your reaction to the rest of the NBA activity coming up next.
Cattles and Ramie.
Sactown Sports.
The Kings season might be over, but Sactown sports coverage never stops.
We, as a team, have a ways to go. This is something that you want to be able to build off of.
Stay tuned all off-season to Sactown Sports and SactownSports.com for the latest Kings news.
Sacramento weather is brought to you by Folsom Lake Kia.
I'm Tamara Berg in the KCRA 3 Weather Center. It's finally Friday. It's the final day of June. It's going to be hot out there, so plan around the heat. Highs will reach the 100 to 103 mark with overnight lows in the upper 60s. Get the latest forecast on the KCRA 3 News and the KCRA 3 app.
Shop Folsom Lake Kia for all your favorite models at low prices and payments. Plus, during the Kia Summer Sales event, get low finance rates and even zero down deals with approved credit. Go see my friends at Folsom Lake Kia right here in Sacramento for over 20 years.
It's almost the 4th of July, and you know what that means. One of the biggest grilling parties you can throw all year. Nick Cattle suggesting you celebrate your 4th of July the right way with the amazing Napoleon Prestige line of outdoor cookers from Green Acres Nursery and Supply. Our Napoleon Stainless Steel Pro Series gas grill has turned us into pros. Napoleon grills are all made with premium steel that boasts absolute quality. Go to Napoleon.com for your nearby Napoleon Grills dealer. Napoleon Grills, now is the time for the best selection of grills and fine accessories. Get ready for the 4th of July.
Prestige line comes with a lifetime warranty.
The California Classic Summer League returns this July with 2 days of NBA triple header action and world-class entertainment. The Sacramento Kings will host the Warriors, Lakers, Heat, and newly added Spurs and Hornets. Single-day tickets start at just $22. Ticket holders for Wednesday, July 5th will be able to see a live concert by country artist Nico Moon. Visit kings.com/California Classic for more information and to buy your tickets today.
At Lowe's, we're always bringing pros more ways to save. Right now, save on Valspar 5-gallon Ultra Flat Paint. Was $131, now just $123. Plus, MVP's Pro Rewards members earn up to 900 bonus points with the purchase of a Graco Magnum X7 paint sprayer. Lowe's knows pros. Valspar offer valid through 8/2. Selection varies by location. Estimated bonus points valid through 6/30. Actual awarded bonus points calculated on purchase price before taxes and after applicable discounts, if any. Subject to program terms and conditions.
The City of Sacramento offers rebates to help with your outdoor water-saving projects this season. Rebates are available for landscape conversions, smart controllers, and irrigation upgrades that improve your water efficiency. Learn more at sacwaterwise.com.
It's the 4th of July Sell-a-thon at Folsom Lake Ford. All your favorite models on sale. F-150s, Explorers, Broncos in stock now. Don't miss 4th of July savings. Shop FolsomLakeFord.com, your truck headquarters.
I'm Ken Korak with your Green and Gold Report, brought to you by Xfinity 10G, the next generation network. Well, Major League Baseball has announced the rosters for this year's Futures game, July 8th up in Seattle. The A's will have Tyler Soderstrom, the number 1 pick back in 2020 out of Turlock, 16 homers and 51 RBIs this year in AAA. And the outfielder Lawrence Butler, who had a great spring this year, and he's batting .284 with an .810 OPS in AA. Ken Korak here, introducing you to the Xfinity 10G network. Xfinity is undergoing a multi-year network evolution, giving you a powerful connection today while building toward a faster, more reliable tomorrow. The Xfinity 10G network gives you the fastest internet with even faster speeds rolling out all the time. You also get a consistent and reliable connection when everyone's online, even during peak hours. That's a home run. If you want to learn more, go online at xfinity.com/10G.
Hey, you want to be around people having a great time? You need to come check out Capital Casino, offering the most varieties of table games in the region in the friendliest environment. Come for the food, which is awesome, of course, and stay and play. Conveniently located in downtown Sacramento at 411 North 16th Street. Right there in downtown Sacramento for over 20 years. Cap Casino, best food, best games, and of course, the best action. And please gamble responsibly. 1-800-GAMBLER.
Guys, did you know your testosterone level impacts your energy, libido, sleep, weight, hair loss, mood, and even ED? And right now, Revive Men's Health Sacramento will check your testosterone for free. They've helped thousands of men since 2011 feel and perform better. They're so confident they can help you, they even guarantee it. Schedule your free testosterone test, exam, and consultation today. Call 916-277-8599. That's 916-277-8599. Or visit ReviveMen'sHealth.com.
Sactown Sports.
Headlines.
Good afternoon, Sacramento. I'm Simone with your Sactown Sports headlines. Happy Friday and welcome to NBA Free Agency. We do know the Sacramento Kings have re-signed Harrison Barnes and are finalizing an acquisition for Chris Duarte from the Pacers. Trey Lyles also walking back in for a two-year deal, according to league sources. Let's get into the latest trades, news, and notes. Here's Cattles and Ramie.
You 1 mile at a time during the afternoon drive. Cattles and Ramie.
Sactown Sports.
All right, so we'll keep an eye on deals. Deals are still flying in. Get to some of this reaction, and then I have a question.
Oh?
For Ramie and all the listeners. But first, I do want to mention today is my last show. I'm going to do this a couple times, an hour. I love this job. I've loved working with Ramie and Simone and JJ and Vlad. But personal things have come up. And if anybody noticed, I was gone for 2 weeks, going back about 3-4 weeks ago. So a couple of things have happened, and we got to get back home eventually here. So we got to get back closer to family. Got things to take care of. So 100% personal decision. Tough saying goodbye. Kelly and I have really enjoyed Sacramento. I've absolutely loved meeting Kings fans and talking with you every single day. I've had a hell of a time. It's a really tough decision. It's been the best time that I've had in radio. But I'm choosing the personal life this time over the radio life, which I haven't always done, unfortunately. But frankly, I've made decisions based off of, professionally what I want to do and what I want to be. And this time, maybe it's because I'm getting a little older, Ramie, but this time I had to make a decision, and I had to go with the personal side of things. So today is my last show. I can't say enough about all of you who have accepted me here. I appreciate you. All right, with that said, let's get through some of this reaction. If you're just joining us, Trey Lyles returning to the Kings. It's a 2-year, $16 million deal. There's no player option. There's no team option. 2 years, straight up, $16 million. So $8 million a year on that deal to go along with the idea of HB coming back. So for all intents and purposes, up to this point, I have to keep saying that, but up to this point, the Kings have decided to run it back. Could be a trade that happens, could be other things that happen. There's still a lot of room left to this offseason to, get something done and get something significant done. The Kings still, according to our math, the Kings still have about
10 million?
10, 11. Yeah, 10, 11, maybe as much as even 12. to play with. So they still have money to bring in somebody. And, we'll see. We'll see if that happens today or if that happens over the weekend or, if it even happens at all. But here's some of the reaction. Joe Cooper, an upgraded Keegan, Sasha Vezenkov, who has not signed yet. And better end of the line bench players. I trust this squad. If it ain't working, make a move midseason trade deadline.
And maybe that's what Monty has in mind. That he's thinking the big splash or the major addition to this team could be there, could be available during the season at or before the trade deadline. But right now, it certainly looks, as you said, Nick, like this is an organization that is content in running it back with mostly the same key players.
Yeah,
that's what it's looking like to me. The Barnes deal is looking better and better the more of the major moves that we see come out, and especially when you consider that most of them have been to stay right where guys are. When you look at Jeremy Grant getting $32 million, Kuzma getting $25 million to stay in Washington, Draymond getting $25 million a year with a player option on the fourth year to stay in Golden State. It seems like a lot of these guys were content in staying right where they were, and especially when you look at the money that those teams were throwing at them. It's looking, first of all, Barnes is looking more and more like a reasonable price tag for his services, and on top of that, you very well could have been left standing there holding the bag, Nick, and watching Harrison Barnes become an Indiana Pacer, or whatever the case might be.
Yeah.
And watching all these guys stay put right where they are for these huge paydays. The Trey Lyles, 2 years, $16 million. That seems like a lot of money for Trey Lyles. And to me, I saw options out there. While Bruce Brown does seem to be a bit overpaid with what he got from the Pacers, that's a guy that I think could have been more useful, more helpful to the Kings to add some depth and versatility to this roster, and especially if you're bringing Vezenkov over, who everything we've heard does a lot of the same things that Trey Lyles did for this offense. So that's the move I'm having a little bit of trouble wrapping my head around. I saw some room for improvement there on the bench and with that money that they gave to Trey Lyles, but like you said, still 10, 11 million to work with according to our math. So we'll see what they do with that, and maybe this will be a significantly upgraded roster with Vezenkov and whoever it is that they add with that money.
All right, so we got a little bit of an update. It's Kings related. Chimezie Metu is not going to be a Sacramento King. Chimezie Metu has agreed to a 1-year deal with the Suns. Phoenix Suns are pretty much signing their entire bench in the last 40 minutes.
Well, they needed to.
To update you, the Suns have signed Josh Okogie to bring him back. They signed Drew Eubanks to a 2-year deal. They signed Keita Bates-Diop to a 2-year deal. They signed guard Damian Lee to a 1-year deal. And now they just signed Chimezie Metu to a 1-year deal. So legitimately, the Suns' entire bench has been signed today. They've agreed. The Phoenix Suns have agreed with their bench. That's pretty much the story coming out of Phoenix. They have a bunch of names and they're just crossing them off. Boop, 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 boop. So that's apparently that's what their operational mission was today. Get that bench done. Patrick Donaldson, running back, the best offense in the NBA, plus adding Sasha and Duarte, and hopefully grab a backup center.
I forgot about Duarte, I have to admit.
I like the Duarte move.
A lot has happened today.
It's a individually, I can't sit here and hate on any deal. I thought Trey Lyles would be around $7 million. He got $8 million. HB and the money that they spent on HB, as you said, Ramie, when you look at the Jeremy Grant deal, which is just outrageous, like 5 years, $160 million, $32 million a year for the next 5 years for Jeremy Grant. No, thank you.
No.
Kyle Kuzma, 4 for 102. That's $25.5 million. I'm out on that. Draymond Green, $25 million a year. I'm out on that. So I don't mind the Barnes move. Again, B-. Trey Lyles, for the role he plays, I'll give it a B. I love the Duarte move.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm not telling you that I hate the individual moves made by Monty. What I'm saying is, if the plan is to run this back, if that's what ends up happening, I don't think the Kings are going to be as good next year as they were this past year. And of course, there's tit for tat. You could say they had a great offense. Keegan's going to take a step. I agree with all of that. But they were incredibly healthy last year. Incredibly healthy. And you have to think about Domas and what happened in that Warriors series. What is this offense going to look like? I mean, I would imagine the Western Conference is going to be better next year than it was this year. So if you run it back, I had more hopes than that. I had higher hopes than that. I'm not telling you that each individual move has been terrible. I really can't, kill them for any of these individual moves.
No, that's the thing, is when you look at each move, each one kind of makes sense, but it is a little underwhelming and somewhat disappointing that we haven't seen a major upgrade to this point.
All right, we got more news coming up for you. Stay tuned. We'll continue to talk about the Kings. Your thoughts? HB returning, Trey Lyles returning, nearing a deal for Chris Duarte that has not been finalized yet. We'll get to your thoughts on that, and we'll continue to break news here on Cattles and Ramie on Sactown Sports.
Cattles and Ramie.
Sactown Sports.
It's the Carmichael Dave Show with Jason Ross.
Apparently, there is a cage match brewing between Elon Musk and Mark Zuckerberg. Now, I hope this happens for many reasons. Number one, it just goes with the downfall of our society. Number two, nothing more fun than seeing super ultra mega billionaires just beat the hell out of each other. Number three, it would obviously be a terrible, terrible, terrible fight.
The Carmichael Dave Show with Jason Ross. Weekday mornings from 6 to 10 on Sactown Sports.
Sacramento weather is brought to you by the Roseville Auto Mall.
I'm Mark Finan in the KCRA3 Weather Center. Skies will stay clear tonight. Not much in the way of a delta breeze. Temperatures will drop down to the upper 60s by sunrise, and it's going to be hot tomorrow with very light winds. Look for a high of 107. Get the latest forecast on the KCRA3 News and the KCRA3 app.
This 4th of July, it's all about selection and convenience. With 17 award-winning dealers, 20 brands, and thousands of vehicles, the Roseville Auto Mall has Northern California's largest selection of new and pre-owned vehicles. The Roseville Auto Mall, driven to be the best.
Hi, we're Comparion Insurance Agency. Right now, you're thinking, Comparion? Never heard of them. We know. We also know that you have no idea that Comparion Insurance agents are local and provide expert advice. So to help it stick, we're going to say local agent 4 times in the next 15 seconds. Ready? Go. Our local agents know you and your community. Our local agents offer insurance from top carriers. Our local agents have minty fresh breath.
Find us at ComparionInsurance.com. Comparion Insurance Agency. Local agents, expert advice.
And there's number 4.
If your Medi-Cal is ending, Cover California is here to help. Cover California is a service from the state that helps you get affordable health insurance. In many cases, at no cost to you, just like with Medi-Cal. We have quality health plans and will help you every step of the way to get the one that works for you and your family. So if you're no longer eligible for Medi-Cal, check out Cover California. We'll keep you covered. Learn more at coveredca.com.
Golf to Go is brought to you by the Hagen Oaks Golf Super Shop. Here's Frank LaRosa.
Do you have any superstitions on the golf course? You know, most players have some. Links Golf Magazine offers a few. Never tee off in front of someone who just made a birdie. That's sure to incur the wrath of the golf gods. What's your lucky ball marker? Maybe a quarter with your birth year? Never carry an extra ball in your pocket, and never use a ball you deem a water ball on a par 3 with a water hazard. There's a reason they're called water balls. And never use a ball found during a round. Using it the same day is bad karma. And if there's an unbroken tee on the tee box, another golfer left it behind for good reason. Speaking of tees, according to the late Tony Lima, white tees suffered from commonness and can be bad luck. Lee Trevino never used yellow. Other colors are acceptable except pink unless you're Paula Kramer. If you're in the middle of a career round, don't go near the ball washer. You might wash away the ball's magical awesomeness. And never talk to your competitor's ball in flight, yelling, hook, carry, get down, or hit a house. It'll come back to haunt you. Kind of makes you feel normal, huh? That's your Golf to Go. I'm Frank LaRosa.
At aimyourdigital.com, we'll help you target the right audience, build your leads, and crush your quota. Take your business to the next level. Our digital marketing strategies help grow awareness of your product or service, all while building trust in your business. Our approach involves leveraging multiple tools and strategies to deliver exceptional results that are customized to your unique business needs. Don't wait to run out of sales leads. Keep your business growing. Get started with aimyourdigital.com today.
What's going on? We're talking to Chad Hoblet of Hoblet Dodge, Chrysler, Jeep, Ram, and Woodland. 4th of July sales event is finally here. Chad, tell me what's going on at Hoblet.
Well, for a very short time, we're offering the biggest savings so far in 2023 with up to $12,000 off MSRP on new 2023 Ram 1500 Laramie, Longhorn, and limited crew cabs. That means you can get one of the most luxurious and popular trucks on the road starting at only $49,995. Plus, Hoblet is California's #1 Ram truck dealer, so you can take advantage of our huge selection with over 500 trucks available, including those hard-to-find heavy-duty trucks.
Okay, but what makes Hoblet better than the dealer down the street?
We have no surprise fees, add-ons, or dealer markups, just savings. One of the many reasons we received the Walter P. Chrysler Award for outstanding customer service for 3 years in a row now. Plus, with Hoblet's Peace of Mind guarantee, you can buy with confidence.
Stop by their Hoblet Ram Truck Center for a test drive today or search, select, and save through the whole inventory at HobletDodge.com. Best prices, best selection, period.
12,000 total net savings after 8,000 factory rebates and 4,000 dealer discount. 10 at this net savings. Sample VIN 549186. Must be California resident. Qualify. See dealer for details.
Your afternoon home for Kings talk and more.
This is Cattles and Ramie
on Sactown Sports.
All right, we got a big one here, Ramie. We got a big one, buddy.
Another one?
Yep. So, Kyrie Irving was going to meet with all of these teams. He's going to meet with all of these teams. The Rockets, the Suns, the this, the that. Well, according to Shams Charania, just a minute ago, Kyrie Irving has agreed to a 3-year, $126 million deal with the Dallas Mavericks.
Okay, so he's not going anywhere either.
3 years, 126. That's $42 million a year? My math is correct? No?
Hold on. 3 at 126. Yes, $42 million a year. Yes.
$42 million a year for Kyrie Irving. Whew.
It's about what I thought he would get. I knew it was going to be in the 40 to 45 million range.
$42 million a year for Kyrie. So you would say the leverage worked, wouldn't you?
Yes.
Seems like it.
All those rumors that he was going to be meeting with this team and that team, the Mavericks, because I said yesterday, was it yesterday or the day? Who knows? It's all blending in together now.
That's an awful deal.
But I had said at the time, like, if you're the Mavericks, what incentive do you have to pay him top dollar if there's not a market? So he went out and created a market.
Which contract is worse, Kyrie's or Jeremy Grant's? Kyrie at $42 million a year for 3 years. Jeremy Grant for $32 million a year for 5 years.
If Kyrie,
the answer is Kyrie.
If Kyrie was more reliable, that money would make sense to me.
More money.
Yeah, I'd rather have Grant at that price tag just because I know he's going to show up
$42 million a year for a guy who has shown absolutely zero ability or capability of being responsible, accountable, and dependable. And the Mavericks had to do it because of what they gave up. They
didn't have a choice. Yeah.
They put themselves in a negotiating corner. They had no other way out. Kyrie had nowhere to go.
Unless they could have signed and traded Kyrie, right? If there was a partner out there who could have,
but there's
sent someone back to partner with Luka.
Tell me who it is, though.
I don't know.
What team is trading for?
About James Harden for Kyrie Irving?
I mean, the only team would be maybe Houston. But when you look at, and by the way, the Rockets have done nothing so far. $60 million in cap space and nothing from them so far.
They have to spend a certain amount of that, don't they, to get to the salary cap floor?
You've got to spend 90% of the cap. So they have to spend somehow, some way. I would imagine they're waiting for Fred VanVleet. We haven't heard anything about VanVleet.
That is true.
We heard the I don't know if I'd even call it a report, but from Toronto saying he's going to stay put. But there's been nothing officially, tweeted or reported on Fred VanVleet. But the only team that you could maybe look at, say, well, Houston for Kyrie. Ime Udoka don't want Kyrie Irving. I can guarantee you that. Nothing about Ime Udoka tells you he wants Kyrie Irving. It's a lot of money.
Yeah, he's been there and done that.
That's a lot of scuttle. I imagine being committed to that dude. Now, the third season, what's even better is the third season's a player option.
But I was just going to say, it's a player option?
Yeah.
Oh, man.
So he's going to make $42 million. He's going to make $84 million the next 2 years, and then he's going to end up being able to opt out, and he'll make even more money for being a guy who just has completely screwed with organization after organization. He screwed with the Cavs. He screwed with the Celtics. He screwed with the Nets.
And he didn't have a lot of value on the trade market as is, Nick. If this doesn't work in Dallas, it's not like you can just trade him before that third year of the contract. He'll have even less value on the trade market if this thing doesn't work.
Here's another big one. Another big deal for you, Ramie. This is for you. The Milwaukee Bucks.
Oh.
Chris Middleton has agreed on a new 3-year, $102 million deal to stay in Milwaukee.
Good.
3 years, $102 million. So I hate doing math this quick. Is it $33 million a year?
33
million a year would be 99.
Plus,
so 33 and change.
Yeah.
So $33 million a year for Middleton. $33 million a year for Middleton.
Honestly, that's less than I thought he might get.
Again, I cannot bicker. I cannot bicker with the Harrison Barnes deal. Not at all.
It's looking more and more reasonable.
The Harrison Barnes deal is, and we've said that. We said that yesterday, that it was a reasonable deal. It was a reasonable deal at that money. And you see the Jeremy Grant deal. You see the Kuzma deal. You see the Middleton deal. You see the Draymond Green deal. You want another one?
Sure.
Got another one
That's
for
what
you.
I'm here for, yeah.
Adrian Wojnarowski, Jakob Poeltl, 4 years, $80 million with Toronto.
Good God.
4 years, $80 million. So $20 million a year for Poeltl.
Okay, let me ask you this.
Does that mean that Van Vliet's out, or does that mean Van Vliet stays?
Let me ask you this, and I'm going to do that. I've done this already with a few, and I'm going to keep doing it with free agents as they go off the market. Harrison Barnes at $18 million a year, or Jakob Poeltl at $20 million a year and bumping Domas to the 4, and you have your starting 5.
No, I don't like the Poeltl-Domas combination. You want another one?
Sure.
Got another one for you.
Okay.
It is.
Cam Johnson has agreed on a 4-year, $108 million deal to stay with the Brooklyn Nets.
4 years, $108
Now,
million.
that's a guy.
$26 million.
That's a guy. Again, the Nets would have probably matched. But if you're asking me about deals that have been signed today that I would say, ooh, that would have been great for the Kings, that'd be good value. Cam Johnson at $26 million a year would have been a good deal. I like Cam Johnson. I think that would have been a good deal. But again, he was a restricted free agent, so
they would probably match.
Yeah, they were going to match. So, so now my computer is not allowing me to copy and paste, which is going to bother me. There we go.
That's a problem.
So we got a lot of deals coming through here. Cam Johnson remains with the Nets. Jakob Poeltl remains with the Raptors. Kyrie Irving stays with the Mavericks. Kyle Kuzma stays with the Wizards. Draymond Green stays with the Warriors. Chris Middleton stays with the Bucks.
That's the theme of this free agency.
Yeah, there's not a lot of big names changing zip codes.
Which, like I said, that the fact that everybody seems to be staying right where they are and these price tags that we're seeing keeps making the Harrison Barnes deal look better and better. Like for all the Kings fans that were disappointed and depressed and downtrodden after the news yesterday that he got 4 years and $18 million, I said this before free agency even started, Nick. None of this exists in a vacuum. You know what I mean? And I said that when the Barnes deal happened. Let's see what else happens around the league. And that's to me what was gonna determine how happy I was or was not with the Harrison Barnes deal. And the deeper we get into free agency and the more of these deals that we see, the happier and happier I get with it.
All right, let's reset. Let's take a deep breath. We've got about 100 deals already reported on. We'll fill you in on the Kings stuff and how we feel. I got a question for Ramie about the Kings. We'll get to all that coming up.
Cattles and Ramie.
Sactown Sports.
Need your Niners fix? Sactown Sports has you covered.
I'm not going to lie to you guys. I think Trey looks significantly better than he did last year. I really do. I think his confidence is there. I think that He's throwing really good passes. I mean, just watching him, he just looks so much more comfortable and confident in the pocket, and I really appreciate that from him, from all the work that he's put into it. He just looks like he's having fun, because when he's out there having a good time, it definitely brings up everyone around him.
Get all your 49ers coverage leading into the 2023 season at Sactown Sports and SactownSports.com.
All new spring deals are here at Lowe's. Start planting your garden this weekend with Bonnie 11.8-ounce vegetables. Buy 4 for $10. Plus, liven up your patios and decks with fresh blooms. Select 1.5-gallon hanging baskets or 2 for $20. Lowe's knows spring. Lowe's knows home improvement. Offers valid through 5/17. In-store only. Actual plant size and selection varies by location. While supplies last, excludes Alaska and Hawaii.
We're going abroad for the first time in years, to Spain. So we started using Babbel.
And started learning Spanish fast.
With Babbel, you can start having conversations in another language in just 3 weeks.
¿Cómo te llamas? ¿Cómo te llamas?
When you learn a language, you want to actually use it. Babbel is designed with that goal in mind.
In just 3 weeks, we're starting to have conversations in Spanish. Gracias, Babbel.
Babbel, language for life. Now try Babbel for free at Babbel.com. That's BABBEL.com.
Power Business Technology is proud to be 100% independent, locally owned, and managed Toshiba copier dealer. Local ownership cuts out the red tape, allowing ourselves to never be too busy to personally answer the call when our clients need us. Recognized for excellence in service execution, training, and customer service, we're proud to be named a 2022 Toshiba ProMasters Elite Dealer. Contact us today for all of your business printing needs at 844-POWER-BZ. That's 844-769-3729, or visit us at PowerCopier.com.
Hello, I'm Frank Cockrell with Retirement Security Centers with the weekly economic update. Signs, everywhere there's signs that there could be blue skies ahead. The S&P 500 may end the month in positive territory for the 4th straight month, which hasn't occurred since August 2021. Consumer confidence reports show that consumers expect higher stock prices for the first time since early 2022, a reversal of previous sentiment of lower valuation expectations, which lasted for 9 months. Since 1987, there's only been 3 other periods lasting that long, with rallies of 10.9% and 19% in 2 of those years. Inflationary expectations remain, but these are offset by the strong jobs market. The Bloomberg Market Regime Index has been squarely in the red for 15 months, has now entered the yellow, signaling possible moderate growth. All these signs may point to a lower chance of recession this year, but next year we may not be so lucky. Based on these signs, maybe it won't be just the temperature rising. How might this affect you or your family? Please go to frankontheradio.com to schedule an appointment, watch videos, and receive market updates. I'm ready to help you start your journey so you can define your future.
Frank Cockrell is a registered representative of Lincoln Financial Advisors Corporation, a broker-dealer member SIPC and registered investment advisor. Retirement Security Centers is not an affiliate of Lincoln Financial Advisors.
Hello, Sacramento. Doug Christie here, and I have something to share. Recently, I asked myself to determine the one most indispensable thing I use to do my job, the one I couldn't do without. The winner, forget the phone, which I live on, and the video editor, which makes my life understandable. The winner was the Good Feet 3-step arch support system. Yes, the one I tell you about each week, keeps me going comfortably supported, pain relieved, and vital. So it strikes me that if Good Feet is the most important go-to tool to relieve pain or just keep me going, shouldn't you give it a try? I think so. Come to the Good Feet store today for a free, no obligation arch support fitting, then take them for a test walk. Experience the comfort, balance, and support of the Good Feet 3-step arch support system. Good Feet in Sacramento, Roseville, Stockton, Modesto, and now Vacaville. Online at goodfeet.com.
Since 1776, July 4th has been celebrated as the birth of American independence, but it's been a federal holiday only since 1941. Hi, this is Frank LaRosa with a word about Naturewood Home Furnishings. It was a mere 7 years later when the Keys family opened their first Naturewood store in Sacramento, and I guess Northern Californians have been celebrating ever since. We celebrate an incredible selection of furniture brands made right here in America. We celebrate the kind of generous hometown hospitality that was important to Walter Keys in 1948 and continues with the Keys family and the Naturewood Home Furnishing staff today. And we celebrate the kind of quality that's been synonymous with Naturewood for all these 74 years. Look for made in America brands like Stanton, Sam Moore, Stickley, Hilltop Hickory, Simply Amish, and more during the Naturewood 4th of July sale event. Find the furniture that you will celebrate for years to come. Naturewood Home Furnishings, off Highway 50 at Hazel. Look for the water wheel.
It's the 4th of July Sell-a-thon at Folsom Lake Ford. All your favorite models on sale. F-150s, Explorers, Broncos in stock now. Don't miss 4th of July savings. Shop FolsomLakeFord.com, your truck headquarters.
KHTKAM Sacramento, KYMX HD2 Sacramento. From the Power Business Technology Toshiba Studios, your flagship station for the Beam Team.
Should we light the beam? Light the beam, baby.
Sactown Sports. Sactown Sports.
Headlines. I'm Simone with your Sactown Sports headlines. Happy Friday and welcome to the NBA free agency frenzy. We do know that Sacramento Kings have re-signed Harrison Barnes and are finalizing an acquisition for Chris Duarte from the Pacers. Trey Lyles also looking to run it back with a new 2-year deal, according to leaked sources. Let's get into the latest trades, news, and notes. I'm Simone. Those are your Sactown Sports headlines. Here's Cattles and Ramie.
With you 1 mile at a time during the afternoon drive.
Sactown Sports.
All right, I think we caught our breath during the break.
I had a little snack.
My goodness. We had about 4 or 5 big deals in a matter of 3 minutes last segment. Lots going on in the NBA. Let's catch all of you up. First, let's start in our own backyard. Right now, so far, the Kings have mostly run it back. Of course, last night, Harrison Barnes signs the 3-year, $54 million deal, or at least agrees to it. $18 million a year. We can also tell you that Trey Lyles is returning to the Kings. 2 years, $16 million, plus some bonuses apparently as part of that contract. No team, no player option. So it's just a straight 2 years, $16 million with some bonuses. So HB back, Lyles is back. Chimezie Metu will not be back. Chimezie has agreed to a 1-year deal with the Phoenix Suns. We also, this morning, heard from Shams Charania that the Kings are nearing a deal. They're nearing a deal with the Indiana Pacers for Chris Duarte. So that so far is all of the action, okay? That's what the Kings have done so far. They're mostly running it back.
Still haven't seen that Duarte deal made official, huh?
No. And I'm thinking that it might have some more pieces in it. You know, so like sometimes when something like that comes out and 9-10 hours pass and it's not officially reported like deal's done, I wouldn't be surprised if Monty's cooking up something, maybe a three-way deal. There's got to be something going on. I've seen some people ask about Sasha Vezenkov. I've seen some people in the YouTube chat mentioning this report about Vezenkov. Look, and by the way, the Harrison Barnes deal is now officially official. Sean Cunningham tweets out that the Kings have officially announced that extension. So here's the thing. There's going to be a lot of things thrown out there, folks. I'm not going to run with anything unless it's from somebody who's reputable.
Like dropping dimes 20.
And so far, nobody reputable has even mentioned Vezenkov. If it happens, trust us, we will tell you immediately. You will hear it here. Nowhere else can you hear that but here. If the Vezenkov deal is done, if any other deal is done, we will tell you about it. We'll be right there with you. So, running it back, you and I have talked about it, Ramie, already. If that is end of the day, off season over, because a lot of moves can be made. If they add more pieces to the bench, that get me excited. If they bring somebody in who could actually start and maybe HB goes, a lot of stuff can happen. But if it's a mostly run it back, I think it's disappointing. I'm not telling you it's the worst thing in the world. It's not a fail grade. It's disappointing. I wanted this team to upgrade. Duarte is a good piece coming off the bench. But I wanted a legitimate upgrade in this starting five. So, it would be disappointing. With that said, as we've talked about, individually looking at these deals, you can't necessarily kill Monty.
No.
The Harrison Barnes deal is great value. The Trey Lyles deal is great value. When you look at, what the cost has been so far. I mean, Jeremy Grant got 5 years, $160 million from Portland. That's $32 million a year. Kyle Kuzma got 4 years, $102 million. That's $25.5 million a year. Draymond Green got $25 million a year. Chris Middleton got $33 million a year. When you look at those deals, I wouldn't want any of those deals over the Harrison Barnes deal. Here's my question to you, though. If the biggest move of this offseason is Harrison Barnes coming back, Ramie, would you have rather traded for John Collins than
that might be
bring back Harrison Barnes?
That might be the one that you look at and go, man, if they could have done that instead of Harrison Barnes, because you're right, Nick, looking at the rest of these deals and names that the Kings were tied to, first of all, it doesn't look like those guys were going anywhere, whether it was Jeremy Grant or Draymond Green or Kyle Kuzma, all stayed right where they were and got a lot more money than maybe they were worth. But that John Collins deal, when you look at what they gave up for him in the trade, which was essentially nothing, it was a bag of balls with the name Rudy Gay on it. And on top of that, the money that he got at $25 million a year, I've been doing it with just about every free agent who would have made any sense whatsoever for the Kings today, and going Harrison Barnes at $18 million or player X at this price. And in most cases, you've said, and I've agreed with you when I ask you that question, the Barnes deal makes more sense to me. That John Collins deal might be the one that would make more sense than what the Kings did in bringing back Harrison Barnes. That was a chance to upgrade at a reasonable price in getting John Collins. You know what I mean? Where the rest of these guys, the price tag is maybe a little bit too high when you're talking about the bang for the buck and the improvement that you'd get over a Kuzma or a Draymond Green versus a Harrison Barnes. But with Collins, I think you get your bang for the buck in the difference in price between those two guys' services.
Yeah, another name that you can throw in there was Bruce Brown. He signed a 2-year, $45 million deal, which I think, and I love Bruce Brown, but I think that's a big-time overpay. I would have rather had Collins. And I know some of you will disagree with me, but that's why we do this. I would have made the deal. Again, if you tell me, because we don't know what else is coming up, but that extra $7 million, something else, could be brought in, and then you look at it, well, you had Harrison Barnes and X versus Collins. But if Harrison Barnes is your biggest move of this offseason, bringing him back, I would have taken Collins at $25 million over Barnes at $18 million. John Collins is 25 years old. He's a defender, and I know he's had trouble shooting the basketball last year and that he had a finger injury, and people are concerned. But when Quinn Snyder came back, when Quinn Snyder came over as the new coach of the Hawks, he said, let it fly. And Collins shot better. And let's also not discount the fact that Collins this year had to play with two high-usage guards, DeJounte Murray and Trae Young. Trae Young's not the easiest guy to play with, folks. He's not. So I wouldn't necessarily say, John Collins would be a waste offensively. He can't shoot the ball. We don't know what he would have looked like in this offense. But I'll tell you what, he's a really good fit with Domas. He's a rim protector. He's long. He blocks shots. That's stuff that Harrison can't do. Harrison has pros, right? But Collins also has pros.
Yeah.
Collins' athleticism, his youth, his defense. I would have taken John Collins over Harrison Barnes. That's the one that I would go look at. That's the one that I think you have an argument about. The other guys, no. Not interested in Green. Not interested in Kuzma. Cam Johnson, maybe, but it would have been matched by the Nets. It would have been an exercise in futility. There's no reason to even do it. Out of the guys who were available, Collins would have been the dude that I look at and said that's an upgrade over Harrison Barnes. And for the extra $7 million, I would have sucked it up and brought him in.
Yeah, no, I agree with you on that one. That might be the one that got away when you look at the moves that have happened leading up to and on today's trade deadline or open of free agency, I guess.
And you really wonder, again, what else can come up? Because there's a lot of things that could come up. the full picture isn't there. We haven't had word about Fred VanVleet. There are names out there. There are still names out there, folks. There are still
there's a bunch of names out there.
There are still really good names out there. I mean, you look at it. I'll give you some names that I'd be interested in. Kelly Oubre, still out there. Torrey Craig, still out there. Christian Wood, still out there. Mason Plumlee. Jock Landale.
Plumlee's a good fit.
Rui Hachimura.
Also would be a good fit.
Jalen McDaniels. PJ Washington, restricted. Grant Williams, restricted. So there's still room. There's still room to do something. And there's room to bring in somebody who would be a big. And, you then move Barnes to the bench. That's still a possibility. That is still a possibility that is out there. So there are still names. There are still players that are very valuable that can help this basketball team. So not all is lost. Trust me. And there are still trades. You got the trade exception still. You still have the exception left, whether it's going to be the full mid-level at $12.4 million or it's going to be the room exception at $7.7 million. We haven't had word about Sasha Vezenkov yet. Does he come back? I mean, does he come into the fold? So there's still a lot of things that can be, settled. I mean, Keith Smith just tweeted out the best available free agents. Van Vliet still out there. D'Angelo Russell, Russell Westbrook, Gabe Vincent. Shooting guards, you got Austin Reeves, who's restricted. Malik Beasley, DiVincenzo, Max Strus. Small forwards, you've got Dylan Brooks, Herb Jones, who is restricted. Jay Crowder, Kelly Oubre. And again, the power forwards, pretty much all the guys I've named. PJ Washington, Grant Williams, Rui Hachimura, all of those guys are restricted. So you would obviously worry about the Lakers matching on Hachimura. And the reports are that they would match on Hachimura and that they would match on Austin Reeves. And for centers, Ramie's guy is still out there, Brook Lopez.
I don't know if they have enough money left for him now, though.
Yeah, that would be difficult. That would be a difficult one.
He's going to go, I think, in the $16 to $20 million range based on what I'm seeing today, and they have 10 or 11 to work with. So,
all right, so
that ship probably sailed.
We will continue. We're going to get to some of your calls. We got a couple calls here waiting. We will get to you. We'll also take a look at some YouTube chats, and we'll continue to break news in 90 seconds.
Cattles and Ramie.
Sactown Sports.
Sactown Sports is your source for the 49ers.
Oh, it was awful. It was awful.
Did that leave a bitter taste in your mouth?
Oh, yeah, for sure. Me and Cal had a long meeting the other day. We watched tape. We talked about it. We put it behind us. And just going through the tape and just look how sluggish and like how bad it looked on tape. Like I said, just reflecting on last offseason, it kind of played a big role in that. I'll never put nothing like that back on tape again.
Tune into Sactown Sports at SactownSports.com for the latest 49ers offseason developments.
Whether you own a local business or a global one, you know that these days, generating growth is a challenge. By teaming with Bank of America, you'll not just stay ahead of the curve, you'll move it. With access to experts, award-winning insights, and business solutions so powerful, you'll make every move matter, locally and globally. Visit bankofamerica.com/banking for business to learn more. What would you like the power to do? Copyright 2023 Bank of America, N.A.
Uh-oh, Brad's buzzed.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, he's starting with the whoops. And now a speech.
I just want to say that friendship is about heart and brain. Who's with me?
Good thing is, he knows when he's buzzed.
And my brain is saying, when it's time to go home, somebody call me a ride.
Love that guy.
Me too.
Know your buzzed warning signs? Call for a ride when it's time to go home. Buzz driving is drunk driving. A message from NHTSA and the Ad Council.
Your afternoon home for Kings talk and more.
This is Cattles and Ramie
on Sactown Sports.
All right, let's get to some of this reaction as more news, I'm sure, is going to pour in from the NBA. Again, still a lot of names out there. I would say the name right now is Fred VanVleet. Everybody's waiting to see what he does. And the Rockets, with all of their cap space, they're just sitting there. But remember, the two names that the Rockets were supposedly going after hard were Brook Lopez and Fred VanVleet. Both guys have yet to be signed or agree to anything with anybody. So maybe they still do pull out the two big names that they wanted.
Took 53 million or 53 minutes for $1 billion to go in NBA free agency
crazy.
this year. 53 minutes.
Absolutely crazy. Let's go through some of your reaction. Socialist Viking. Do any of all the doomsayers that can't believe Monty is betting on the same, still young group in parentheses, remember the narrative at the trade deadline and what happened after? Yeah, I remember the trade deadline and what happened after. They lost to the Warriors in the first round. And I would argue that if you had a backup big and maybe another wing, maybe possibly you win that series. That could have been the difference.
Mm-hmm.
So I do remember. And running it back, again, I'm not telling you they won't be good. They'll be good. Running it back, they will be good. They might even be better than they were this year running it back.
Sure.
Especially if Keegan takes that step.
Sure.
But a lot of other teams are going to be better too.
They do not exist in a vacuum.
So you have to account for that. And you also have to remember how incredibly healthy this team was all year long. Your starting five was intact pretty much every night. Beeman, man, at this point, we're almost fully running it back. To this point, yes. TCG, our friend, YouTube chat, youtube.com, Sactown Sports 1140. I think Barnes needs an upgrade in the starting lineup. However, Fox, Herter, Keegan, and Domas can all improve considerably with another year together. So TCG agrees with us. An upgrade over HB would have been nice. Gilbert Hernandez, you can't disregard the fact Fox was hurt. He played a lot of games, Gilbert. Domas was hurt too, but he played a lot of games.
There's no twisting the story of how healthy, how fortunate the Kings were when it came to injuries.
They legit were like the healthiest team in the NBA, and I don't even think it was
by a wide margin. I told you they had 900 minutes from their starting five combined. The next closest, I think, was 736.
Okay, so Gilbert's talking about the playoff series.
Okay.
Yeah, Fox was hurt. Fox was banged up. Yes. In that series. Would that have been the difference?
I hate to be this guy.
I don't know.
I don't think they win that series, even with a healthy De'Aaron Fox.
Yeah.
I'll be the bad guy.
LC Dang, you cannot predict injuries. I understand, LC. Let's be logical
it's your
about
last
this.
day. Don't let people get on.
No, they're not going to. Let's be logical about this, though, okay? You were incredibly healthy last year. You were one of, if not the healthiest team in the NBA during the regular season. The chances of you being that healthy again this coming year are very, very, very slim.
Yeah.
So that's just logical. It's common sense. I mean, the team's health this year, that doesn't happen. That kind of thing does not happen. When you've got, Fox playing 73 games, you got Domas, how many did he play? 75 or something? I mean, you had pretty much everybody in the starting lineup for 70-plus games. Especially nowadays in the NBA. That doesn't happen. So again, do I think they're going to be bad? No, of course not. But I wanted them to build off of the momentum that they started last year. Mm-hmm. And they can still do that. But right now, they're mostly running it back. We'll see if it works out.
Which feels underwhelming.
Yes.
With the excitement of opening up $36 million in cap room. And we talked about the fact that you don't see 3 seeds with that much cap room or that highly ranked in cap room going into an offseason. And I think a lot of people, including us, Nick, our eyes got big and we saw opportunities for big swings and upgrades coming off what they did last year. But I think you also have to consider the flip side of that coin and the possibility that I brought this up a number of times already today. They could have been sitting there left holding the bag. And the more that we see how free agency is playing out, the more of a real possibility that seems. And so I think that you have to weigh what you have versus what could have been. And yeah, there were some opportunities out there to upgrade, but there was also the possibility of taking a step back in terms of this roster and this franchise next year if the chips fell a certain way once free agency got underway, if Harrison Barnes ended up in Indiana or anywhere else.
Joe Cooper, we really need a backup center. Yes. Yes. And I think the Kings will add. Again, they've got 10 to 13 million more. This is not over. They got a $12 million trade exception from the Rashawn Holmes trade. They have an exception, whether that's full mid-level, which would be $12.4 million, or they have the room exception, which would be $7.7 million. There are still a lot of things they can do. That's why I'm saying right now, so far, they've been running it back. This is a big one. Relatively speaking.
Mm-hmm. Fred VanVleet.
It's kind of a wowzers deal to me.
Wowzers.
Gabe Vincent goes to the Lakers.
Oh.
Who the hell saw that coming?
What's the money?
3 years, $33 million.
Huh.
So Gabe Vincent leaves the Heat, and he is a Los Angeles Laker. That's a really good deal for the Lakers.
That is a very good deal. And goes back to what we were saying, Nick,
that makes
which
me
is
sick.
The Western Conference
I hate the
is
Lakers.
getting better. Teams around the Kings are getting better.
I freaking hate the Lakers.
Same.
I hate them too.
I hate the Lakers.
I'm glad we're all on the same page here.
Who is allowing them to cook?
What is Miami doing?
Waiting for
Dame Dollar?
Waiting for Dame to come available. Yeah.
Yep.
I mean, as of right now, you're starting washed Kyle Lowry. They have to feel like they've got Dame Dollar. But how do you feel that way? Portland just paid $1 billion for Jeremy Grant. You think Portland's going to quickly get off of Dame Dollar?
No.
After paying that money? Oh, I hate the Lakers. That Vincent signing is good.
That's a really good signing.
Again, he's not a superstar by any means, but what the hell? 3 years, $33 million. Ugh. I can't stand them. I hope he stubs his toe.
Mark.
It's a really bad stub toe. Like he misses 3 months.
Yeah, and it looks like they're trying to trade Max Strus. I don't know what they're doing.
I think they have to trade Max Strus. I don't think they have the money for Max Strus. Oh, man. I hate that. Does that mean they're off of Russell?
Don't know.
Do they move off of D'Angelo Russell now?
I don't think they were really all that hot on D'Angelo Russell to begin with. There doesn't seem to be much of a market for D'Angelo Russell.
I will say, if you're going to try to find a silver lining, that means the Lakers are hard capped, which is a whole. I can get into that a little bit later, but that will limit them when you're hard capped. I want to make sure I have all this. Hard cap penalties in the NBA. So they're hard cap. They pretty much can't do much else. Let's see.
Who else did I see that they were talking to or were going to talk to?
So look, they're going to be hard capped, which will limit them. But moving forward, but Gabe Vincent's a really good addition for them.
Oh, and they're apparently planning to meet with Dylan Brooks.
Well, I don't know how that happens unless they do a sign and trade deal.
I don't either. But I don't also understand NBA salary caps. So I'd be the wrong guy to understand that.
I mean, to me, when you look at this, the story is the Lakers, but it's also Miami.
Yeah, what are they doing?
I don't think you let Miami walk. I mean, you don't let Vincent walk if you're Miami for that deal, unless.
Well, we saw that they were offering him $8 million.
Unless you're doing something, right? I mean, unless you have an answer.
I don't know. I don't know.
This is madness.
I have no idea.
So we'll see. We'll see what happens. We'll continue with breaking news. I'm going to try to get to your calls, but today is a very crazy, fluid day, as you can tell. More deals are coming in. We'll recap some of the big ones for you. We'll see if the Kings do anything coming up here. Still, again, there's still a lot of money at hand here. $10, $13 million they've got to work with. They have the trade exception. They have a lot of things they can still do. So we'll see if the Kings get back on the map here and continue to take a look at these deals being signed in the NBA, because a lot is happening. Don't go anywhere. Cattles and Ramie here on Sactown Sports.
Cattles
and Ramie.
Sactown Sports. Check out the Golf to Go Hour with Frank LaRosa every week on Sactown Sports. Get the latest on equipment, area courses, people who play the great game, and plenty of good conversations about golf. It's the Golf to Go Hour every week with Frank LaRosa on Sactown Sports. Golf to Go is brought to you by the Hagen Oaks Golf Super Shop, America's most awarded golf facility. Naturewood Home Furnishings, where it's all about choices and always about quality.
Sacramento weather is brought to you by Elk Grove Honda.
I'm Mark Finan in the KCRA3 Weather Center. Skies will stay clear tonight, not much in the way of a delta breeze. Temperatures will drop down to the upper 60s by sunrise, and it's going to be hot tomorrow with very light winds. Look for a high of 107. Get the latest forecast on the KCRA3 News and the KCRA3 app.
At Elk Grove Honda, we see every Honda buyer as a member of the family, so we make sure every certified pre-owned Honda is one we would buy from ourselves. See our selection of certified pre-owned Hondas in the Elk Grove Auto Mall or online at elkgrovehonda.com.
I gotta get an Elk Grove Honda.
It's almost the 4th of July, and you know what that means. One of the biggest grilling parties you can throw all year. It's Nick Cattle suggesting you celebrate your 4th of July the right way with the amazing Napoleon Prestige line of outdoor cookers from Green Acres Nursery and Supply. Our Napoleon Stainless Steel Pro Series gas grill has turned us into pros. Napoleon grills are all made with premium steel that boasts absolute quality. Go to Napoleon.com for your nearby Napoleon Grills dealer. Napoleon Grills, now is the time for the best selection of grills and fine accessories. Get ready for the 4th of July.
Prestige line comes with a lifetime warranty.
Attention contractors and DIY enthusiasts. Don't miss the ultimate DeWalt sale event at Fasteners Tool Outlet in Sacramento next Saturday, July 8th. Unbeatable prices on DeWalt power tools and one-day-only deals with free batteries and tools. Grab a 4-piece brushless combo kit for $299 and save up to 50% on select hand tools and accessories. Again, that's July 8th from 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. at 6701 Power Inn Road. For more info, visit fastenersinc.net.
Do you find yourself stuck in a timeshare? Get the real facts about the timeshare industry and your options for cancellation. Chuck McDowell, founder of Wesley Financial Group, has put together a free information guide that reveals the secrets the timeshare industry doesn't want you to know, including the 5 ways to get rid of your timeshare. Call now and get this timeshare cancellation guide absolutely free.
Call 800-330-2929. That's 800-330-2929. 800-330-2929.
At Lowe's, we're always bringing pros more ways to save. Right now, save on Valspar 5-gallon Ultra Flat Paint. Was $131, now just $123. Plus, MVP's Pro Rewards members earn up to 900 bonus points with the purchase of a Graco Magnum X7 paint sprayer. Lowe's knows pros. Valspar offer valid through 8/2. Selection varies by location. Estimated bonus points valid through 6/30. Actual awarded bonus points calculated on purchase price before taxes and after applicable discounts, if any. Subject to program terms and conditions.
We're going abroad for the first time in years to Spain. So we started using Babbel.
And started learning Spanish fast.
With Babbel, you can start having conversations in another language in just 3 weeks.
¿Cómo te llamas?
¿Cómo te llamas?
When you learn a language, you want to actually use it. Babbel is designed with that goal in mind.
In just 3 weeks, we're starting to have conversations in Spanish. Gracias, Babbel.
Babbel, language for life. Now try Babbel for free at Babbel.com. That's Babbel.com.
What's up? We're talking to Chad Hoblet, a Hoblet Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram in Woodland. Finally, the 4th of July sales event is here. Chad, what's going on at Hoblet?
Right now, you can lease a new 2023 Jeep Wrangler Sahara 4xe for only $379 a month for 36 months with $49.95 due at signing. That's a savings of up to $13,500, or you can save up to $92.50 off MSRP, plus get $37.50 in federal tax credits for a total savings of over $13,000.
So whether I lease or buy the new 2023 Jeep Wrangler Sahara 4xe, I can save up to $13,000 or more?
Yeah, and now the only decision is which one you want, because we have a great selection of Wrangler 4xes with over 50 available.
Hey, find your perfect vehicle now when you search, select, and save at HobletDodge.com.
$13,500 in total net savings after $11,000 factory rebates and $2,500 dealer discount. Rebates include $7,500 federal tax credit, $3,000 CARB rebate, and $500 California bonus cash. Must be California resident qualified. 36-month lease term, $49.95 cash due at signing, plus tax, license, and accessories on approved credit through Chrysler Capital. 25 cents per mile charge of over 10,000 miles per year. $92.50 total net savings after $57.50 factory rebates and $4,000 dealer discount. Plus optional $37.50 tax credit may apply for buyers who meet current current federal tax standards only. Subject to change. See your CPA for qualifications. For California residents only, 5 weeks net savings. See dealer for details.
Sactown Sports.
Headlines. I'm Simone with your Sactown Sports headlines. Happy Friday and welcome to NBA Free Agency Frenzy. We do know the Sacramento Kings have re-signed Harrison Barnes and are finalizing an acquisition for Chris Duarte from the Pacers. Trey Lyles also looking to run it back with a new 2-year deal, according to league sources. Let's get into the latest trades, news, and notes. I'm Simone Rickford. Those are your Sactown Sports headlines. Here's Cattles and Ramie.
With you 1 mile at a time during the afternoon drive. Cattles and Ramie.
Sactown Sports.
Give me the loot. Very underrated. Give me the loot. Give me the loot.
One of your favorites?
Yes.
All right.
Yes. I drafted it
Oh, that's great.
on Wednesday. One of my draft picks.
Add it to the list.
So, I do want to mention before we
want to get on your nerves.
Before
on your
we,
last day.
no, you weren't on my
Nice
nerves at
one.
all. I
All
was
right, good.
just looking at a tweet.
All right.
I got to try to stay focused at like 7 different things here. But before we continue with the basketball talk and free agency, I did want to mention, since no big deal has happened in the last 5 minutes, that this is my last day with Sactown Sports. This is my last show. Not because I wanted to leave, not because they wanted me to leave, but because there's been some family things happening, and it's been very, very challenging. It was somewhat challenging throughout the entire tenure, honestly. Some things have happened personally that have just been like boom, 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 one after another. But the last 2 months especially were pretty rough. And one thing in particular was really rough. So Kelly and I have made the decision to go back east, go back home, get close to family. We've got some things that we've got to handle on the personal side because of the last 2 months that we can't handle from 3,000 miles away. So it was a really tough position, but we made the decision, family first. And so today's my last show. I appreciate all of you for accepting me, whether you disagreed with me, loved me, hated me, whatever it is. I appreciate all of you listening to this show, being a part of it. We had tremendous success, and it's a bummer to leave because we've done very well. You know, sales and ratings and digital, we've done very, very well. And so, you know, for all the people in the building that worked hard on that, I appreciate that as well. And I've absolutely loved working with Ramie, and I've loved working with JJ and Simone and Vlad. So, you know, not an easy decision at all, but sometimes you got to do what you got to do. And so I will be heading back to the Northeast eventually. I am still trying to sell my home. So dependent on that, I could be here for a long time. We'll have to wait and see. We'll see with any good luck.
If anybody's looking to buy a house, he's
yes.
on Nick C Radio.
Roseville area, 3-bedroom.
It's a nice house.
Really nice backyard.
Really nice backyard, yeah.
Really nice.
Mm-hmm.
All right, but yeah, so really appreciate every one of you. And I am still going to watch the Kings, and I still am going to, you know, pay attention to the Kings. When you throw yourself into something and you start investing hard in a team like this, you still have that spot there for them, you know? So I will still be paying attention to them. I'll still be tweeting from time to time about them, especially when something big happens. And it's been a blast to see Kings fans and live through this. And, you know, the 16-year drought gone. You know, I've been here for like 19 months, but man, we packed in a lot during those 19 months. We did a lot here, people. We did a lot. So it's been a great time. The Phoenix Suns have added yet another name to their bench. Yuta Watanabe is joining the Phoenix Suns. And I know Yuta is a favorite of some Kings fans. And I know Jill Adge. Jill Adge is a big Yuta fan. So Yuta goes to the Suns. Like their entire bench is signing today. I'm not even joking. They've signed like 7 guys.
Well, they only had, 4 guys on under contract on their roster before today?
Yeah.
So there was work to be done.
All right, so let's go to Doug. Doug's been very, very patient. It's been a crazy show. Let's get to some of these calls right now. Doug, what's up, bud?
First call, Doug. I wanted to make sure I got a chance to say goodbye to you. I just found out that you were leaving, and I just want to tell you it's been enjoyable to listen to the show and the people you have working there, and you've been a professional all the way through and stuff. And I'll miss that time to hear you on the radio on my drives around Sacramento. That's one thing. On the other part is, I think that I was reading that the Clippers were wanting to keep Plumlee and that they're going to let Zubac go in the sense of a trade or whatever. That mid-level exception you're talking about, the $12 million,
Yeah.
12.4, whatever.
Yep.
Last year he was making 10, 5, whatever. I don't know how it works, but can you go in and propose where I'll give you my exception and I'll take your guy? Is that how it works?
Yeah, that's precisely. So yeah, what would happen is, I'm trying to remember, and Doug, thank you for the phone call and thank you for the kind words about the show and the first guy to call the program. So thank you for that. I believe you can do a sign and trade and use a trade exception. I believe you can, but the trade exception is just literally, it's almost as if it's a player, right? It's in the place of a player. So if your trade exception is $12.4 million, Zubats, what do you say? He makes like $10.5 million. So yeah, you could do that. You could 100% do that. You could absolutely do that. So the Kings have like a $12 million exception, 12.3 or whatever, something like that, 12 and change. And Zubats is on the books this year for $10.9 million. So yeah, Doug, you could do that. Now it wouldn't just be the trade exception for Zubats. Obviously, the Kings would have to sweeten some things up. So you have to remember that as well. When you look at maybe a second round pick, couple of second round picks, but that's how it would work. And the reason why the Clippers would do that is because they're just, they're trying to get rid of some salary. So yeah, that could work. Zubats, and I like that idea. I don't mind that idea at all. Zubats with the trade exception wouldn't be the worst idea in the world.
It's an upgrade. We talked about upgrading this bench. That'd be an upgrade.
Yeah, absolutely.
For sure.
That's a big upgrade for your backup big. All right, let's go to Frank. Frank's next. Hey, Frank. Oh, hi, Frank.
All right.
Frank sounded a lot like a dial tone.
Interesting take from Frank.
Frankie. All right, so I just want to point this out because this irritates me. The Suns have done a good job, man, today.
Few teams around the West
we made all these jokes like, oh, the Suns are trying out Jabari Parker and all these things, and who are they going to have on their bench? Blah, 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 blah. I mean, they've gone out, they've kept Josh Okogie. That's huge. They brought in Drew Eubanks. That's a good signing. Keita Bates-Diop is a good signing. He had a good year last year. I think he shot like 39% from three last year. Damian Lee is a decent rotation piece. Yuta Watanabe is a good rotational piece. I mean, they've brought in 5 guys to address their bench needs. And they obviously have not, spent a ton of money to do it. Shake Milton has agreed to a deal with Minnesota, if you care about that kind of thing. So Shake Milton going to Minnesota. Joe Ingles going to the Orlando Magic. 2 years, $22 million. You do feel like something's going to happen here, though. You really do.
We still have some names out there, man. I mean, Fred Van Vliet, easy for me to say, shoe hasn't dropped yet.
I mean, you've got Houston with $60 million in cap space. Something's got to give, right? I mean, something has to give if you're the Houston Rockets.
Somebody's going to get a lot of money in Houston just on the basis of we got to spend this, man. Here you go. You know what I mean? To get to the salary floor. That's not a bad deal if you're somebody who's going to get overpaid just because a team has to spend money.
When you think about teams right now in the Western Conference, I was going through this exercise with Scott Marsh during the break. The Lakers are going to be better. You have to imagine the Suns are going to be better. Adding Bradley Beal, some of these bench pieces, I think the Suns are going to be good. If the Clippers have James Harden, they're better. Oklahoma City's dangerous. Utah is dangerous. The Denver Nuggets are the best team in the NBA. That's 6 teams already.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll see if Monty has something bigger up the sleeve, because there is still time, tons of time, and there's still a number of assets that the Kings have at their disposal to do something.
Really like what you just talked about Phoenix and what the Lakers have done today. I mean, I don't like it because I wish that those teams weren't getting better, but if you're a fan of those two teams, you got to like what they did and how they upgraded their roster today.
Yeah. I mean, they've added, and I should mention too, Chimezie Metu went to the Suns as well. I had him in the Kings portion of my notes. So Chimezie Metu also to the Suns as a bench piece. And, you know, the Lakers signing Gabe Vincent and Taurean Prince. Those are 2 really good, pieces, relatively speaking. 2 good pieces. And they're going to get D'Angelo Russell back.
Mm-hmm.
They're likely going to bring back Austin Reeves and Rui Hachimura because they can match. I mean, I wonder if Houston tries to knock the socks off of Austin Reeves or Hachimura to make it tough for the Lakers to, bring those guys back. But yeah, there are teams in the West getting better. So we'll see what happens. We'll continue to keep an eye on
There's work to be done, Kings. What are you doing, Monty McNair?
Keep an eye on all these moves. We'll take a look at what the Kings have done as well here. There's still a lot to do. We might even squeeze in a snack. It's all coming up next.
Ooh. Cattles and Ramie.
Sactown Sports. The King season might be over, but Sactown Sports coverage never stops.
Guys on other teams, when they look at the Sacramento Kings, they feel that this is a fun brand of basketball to play.
Stay tuned all off-season to Sactown Sports and SactownSports.com for the latest Kings news.
Sacramento weather is brought to you by the Roseville Auto Mall.
I'm Mark Finan in the KCRA 3 Weather Center. Skies will stay clear tonight, not much in the way of a delta breeze. Temperatures will drop down to the upper 60s by sunrise, and it's going to be hot tomorrow with very light winds. Look for a high of 107. Get the latest forecast on the KCRA 3 News and the KCRA 3 app.
This 4th of July, it's all about selection and convenience. With 17 award-winning dealers, 20 brands, and thousands of vehicles, the Roseville Auto Mall has Northern California's largest selection of new and pre-owned vehicles. The Roseville Auto Mall, driven to be the best.
Hey, it's Carmichael Dave coming to you for Amy's Outdoor Living in Sacramento on El Camino near Watt and El Dorado Hills Town Center. They've got what you need for your 4th of July celebration. Now listen, Amy's going to pay all the sales tax on all of their huge selection of in-stock furniture, cushions, and umbrellas. Their best selection of umbrellas in tons of sizes and colors. Amy's Outdoor Living is your grilling headquarters with Traeger, Weber, Big Green Egg. You gotta see those in-store savings. Free assembly and delivery on all grills for the 4th of July. And they've got a wonderful selection of rubs and sauces. Buy 4, get 10% off. And they've got 20% off home decor accessories. What more do you need? Amy's Outdoor Living on El Camino near Watt and inside Amy Ace Hardware right there in the El Dorado Town Center. Enjoy your 4th of July, and you tell them your good buddy Carmichael Dave sent you.
At Lowe's, we're always bringing pros more ways to save. Right now, save on Valspar 5-gallon Ultra Flat Paint. Was $131, now just $123. Plus, MVP's Pro Rewards members earn up to 900 bonus points with the purchase of a Graco Magnum X7 paint sprayer. Lowe's knows pros. Valspar offer valid through 8/2. Selection varies by location. Estimated bonus points valid through 6/30. Actual awarded bonus points calculated on purchase price before taxes and after applicable discounts, if any. Subject to program terms and conditions.
We're going abroad for the first time in years to Spain. So we started using Babbel.
And started learning Spanish fast.
With Babbel, you can start having conversations in another language in just 3 weeks.
¿Cómo te llamas?
¿Cómo te llamas?
When you learn a language, you want to actually use it. Babbel is designed with that goal in mind.
In just 3 weeks, we're starting to have conversations in Spanish. Gracias, Babbel.
Babbel, language for life. Now try Babbel for free at Babbel.com. That's Babbel.com.
It's the 4th of July Sell-a-thon at Folsom Lake Ford. All your favorite models on sale. F-150s, Explorers, Broncos in stock now. Don't miss 4th of July savings. Shop FolsomLakeFord.com, your truck headquarters. Hello, Sacramento. Doug Christie here, and I have something to share. Recently, I asked myself to determine the one most indispensable thing I use to do my job, the one I couldn't do without. The winner, forget the phone, which I live on, and the video editor, which makes my life understandable. The winner was the Good Feet 3-step arch support system. Yes, the one I tell you about each week keeps me going comfortably supported, pain relieved, and vital. So it strikes me that if Good Feet is the most important go-to tool to relieve pain or just keep me going, shouldn't you give it a try? I think so. Come to the Good Feet store today for a free, no obligation arch support fitting, then take them for a test walk. Experience the comfort, balance, and support of the Good Feet 3-step arch support system. Good Feet in Sacramento, Roseville, Stockton, Modesto, and now Vacaville. Online at goodfeet.com.
Live and local in the afternoon.
They always keep you on edge.
Cattles
and Ramie
on Sactown Sports.
So we have a very, very special guest.
Yes, we do.
That has,
I would say, the most special guest that we've had yet.
Made her way into the studio, and I know it's free agency day, but we stop everything. We stop everything today. In this moment.
Yes, sir.
Because Mama Rickford's in the house. The hat is coming off.
She's figured out the headphone situation.
We got to get Mama Rickford on the cameras.
Way too much.
Yeah, so it's the snack exchange. Mama Rickford is
she provided the whole snack.
I will say she is not like her daughter when it comes to being around a microphone. Simone has no worries with just jumping on the microphone and doing what she's got to do. But Mama Rickford's she's not super comfortable with the whole idea of talking to us and being on the microphone today.
You're among family. Don't worry about it. We're all family here.
It skips a generation.
There we go. So this is what's going on here. Now, on Fridays, we do the snack exchange.
Yes.
On this show, every Friday at this time.
We exchange snacks.
And so
share and exchange snacks.
So Simone has been talking about her mom coming in for a while. And so today is the day that Simone's mom has shown up. And let me just tell you, Simone's mother has shown up big. We don't
the big gun.
This is not a snack exchange as much as it is as like a full buffet exchange.
Yeah, really.
So please tell us.
Can you tell us what we have here?
Yeah, what you have brought in.
Miss Rickford, please.
Okay, well, so we'll start with some like bruschetta type salmon with sour cream.
Is that dill I see
dill
on top? Oh, I love
and
fresh
lemon.
dill. Oh.
And again, that's toasted. And then we'll hop over to our bread tray where we have, again, some toasted bruschetta type things and hummus with dolmas.
Now you're talking my language. You're literally talking my language.
We have like a mini caprese salad because it's got a little mozzarella.
Just what they need. They've been crushing it all day with this NBA free agency, Ma.
Yeah,
perfect.
And then we have the basil actually came out of the garden.
Really?
So fresh.
Look at that.
And
out of the garden, right?
Out the garden.
This is too high class for the snack exchange.
And then we have some assorted deli meats. And then we have some dates stuffed with cream cheese, a little bit of goat cheese, and topped with a little bit of prosciutto and pomegranate.
Yeah, it smells good.
I've seen
this is everyone's like break right now to drink some water, eat some food. It's been a big day for us.
Yes.
I've seen the dates with prosciutto, never with the cheese and pomegranate. Yeah. That's going the extra mile.
I mean, just going off of this, I would say Simone must have not struggled too much eating as she grew up. Mama Rickford looks like she takes care of things.
You know what? I had to show up because your last day again brings a tear to my eye. I've learned so much sports just listening to you.
Yeah, she listens so much. She's like a P1 listening all the time to support.
So nice.
That is fantastic.
So sweet.
That is
You really
absolutely
did want to come
fantastic.
through for your last day. So
Two giant loaves of bread here also.
Yes, from a
Which
bakery.
You brought with me in mind. Some of these were brought with. I know it's Nick's last day, but you really.
Here comes Ramie.
A little bit of everything.
Thank you so much. It's amazing.
fellas, feel free to still, if there's any breaking news or anything, we'll keep it
there's
slicing.
I don't even
No,
know.
if something
I'm just
happens-
looking at this spread. I have no idea.
Trust me, if something happens, we will tell you. If there's news, we will break it to you ASAP. There's nothing. Shake Milton, again, is the last signing that we have from Woj, and that was a 2-year deal with Minnesota. So nothing earth-shattering, nothing even significant over the past few minutes here. So the snacks have taken some precedent here. Mama Rickford has taken some precedent here. And that's a lot of bread. That's enough bread probably for the whole building.
Yes, I would say so.
I'm a big bread guy. So, this is going to be, I don't even know. Are you going to dig in, Ramie?
I'm going to dig in. Should I do it right now? I know how much you hate chewing on the air. Should I do it
you
right
can
now?
dig in, but you don't have to chew into the microphone.
Okay.
And I would also like to mention that Simone's mom also brought in hand sanitizer,
Yes.
which is fantastic.
She knew the clientele.
Which is fantastic. I've known Simone's mom for a solid 8 minutes, and I think she's one of the greatest people I've ever met.
Agreed.
She's in my top 10.
Agreed.
She is the duct tape that holds the world together.
Go through all this trouble for two dudes she never even met, doesn't even know. Thank you so much.
Well,
it's amazing.
Well, I will
mean.
tell you this. Your daughter is fantastic, and she has been an absolute pleasure since she joined us back in late January, early February. She's been tremendous. And it says a lot when a daughter is as good of a person as she is. It means the mom's done some things right. So, you have a fantastic daughter, and you have an amazing spread that you brought in for us that I can't say enough. So, what are you crushing first? What is this?
The prosciutto and cheese wrapped and cheese stuffed dates with pomegranate on top.
Yeah,
that's very good.
Yeah,
it's very very.
You're
good.
talking a little bit too much. You get the food in the mouth and everything. Yeah, I just asked what it was.
You asked.
I didn't need the Guy Fieri breakdown mid-meal.
So, Mom, I'll fill you in a little bit. I'm sure you've been listening, but as far as the Kings are going right now, it's looking like it's pretty much going to be the same core as last year.
Yes, Harrison Barnes.
Yes.
And
Trey Lyles coming back.
Trey Lyles is coming back.
Yes, ma'am.
And who was it who got 18 million? Who's getting 18 million?
Yeah, that's Harrison.
That's Harrison.
That's
Barnes.
Harrison. Okay.
Yes.
So.
And there's Chris Duarte. He's they're still finalizing that, but that is another addition that's coming over from the Pacers, and it's really nice because he has great chemistry with Domantas Sabonis, of course.
Yay! I love it. I wish I could find a picture I have of Mona standing in the little cutout of
Mona.
They don't know the nickname.
Mona
is the nickname.
Yes.
Really?
Yes.
Why are we just finding out about this now?
Hold
That's
on,
why
Mona.
I was wearing that Mona Lisa thing for that Beta Breakers. It's all my nickname is Mona, you guys.
Did not know that.
Mona. So all of my family and friends call me Mona, but from college on, I went as
From
Simone.
high school even.
How was Mona as a child? Was she a pain in the neck?
She was darling.
She was darling?
Darling Simone, yeah. After Simone de Beauvoir, right? Yeah.
Can you tell us something that she did which was terrible? She got in trouble. She never got grounded.
Me and my siblings accidentally killed a couple of chickens. Variously.
Why were you mad at chickens?
It was like we would put them in like bags and like try and run around with them, and they would suffocate. And
what?
That's a horrendous story.
Had one in a backpack. It was her baby.
For Lord's
It
curse.
was her baby.
I'm sorry I even brought it up. I asked the question now.
So she kind of got zipped up, and when it came out, it kind of went a little wobbly.
Oh, no.
And but to
Like, you
make
doing
up
okay?
for that, she saved every other creature on the planet from baby birds she's tried to feed.
That
We
doesn't
once
surprise
had a squirrel. A baby squirrel. We were hand feeding. Her cat, I'm sure you know about. So she's taken.
Oh, the cats.
Yeah, we know all about the cats.
We suggested that the cats should go.
By the way,
They
did
shouldn't.
you make the stuffed grape leaves?
No.
Okay. They are delicious.
No.
I was going to say, those tasted like they were
You know
made by
what?
the Arab hands of my mother. Thank
Guess
you.
what? TJ's.
Really?
solid.
We love TJ's
Give
around
that a
here.
try.
Yeah.
Now I'm trying some of the hummus with the flatbread here.
Mama
Thank you, by
Rickford,
the
you're
way.
the best.
Thank you so much.
Love
And
to see you.
Amazing.
wish you could stay here forever. I understand family obligations.
Yeah.
So you've been the world for, the city and all kinds of stuff. So
Well, I
wish you
appreciate
the
that.
best.
I appreciate
Thank you so
that.
much.
Truly.
I'm going to say that before I stuff my face with this
Yeah.
flatbread.
All right,
Thank
Ramie.
you so much.
Thank
Appreciate
you.
it.
Ramie's going to
so
continue to eat himself into a coma, and we'll keep an eye on the NBA
So good.
stuff.
So good.
Final
Thank you so
hour.
much.
Final hour of me in Sacramento. Well, not really. Final hour of me in this building until I sell my house. I'm still in Sacramento. So I could be here for months. We don't know. But last hour of Cattles and Ramie, literally, coming up next.
Cattles
and Ramie.
Sactown Sports. Catch the Oakland A's every weekend on Sactown Sports. Friday nights, Saturdays, and Sundays.
Sinking, that's going to get down for a hit. Around third to score is Tony Kemp. And the A's have taken the lead. Edge of the track makes the catch. And the Athletics get a great win.
Sactown Sports, your weekend home for the Oakland A's.
Sactown Sports coverage of the Oakland A's is brought to you by Xfinity 10G, the next generation network.
Plus, liven up your patios and decks with fresh blooms. Select 1.5-gallon hanging baskets or 2 for $20. Lowe's knows spring. Lowe's knows home improvement. Offers valid through 5/17. In-store only. Actual plant size and selection varies by location. While supplies last, excludes Alaska and Hawaii.
It's almost the 4th of July, and you know what that means. One of the biggest grilling parties you can throw all year. It's Nick Cattle suggesting you celebrate your 4th of July the right way with the amazing Napoleon Prestige line of outdoor cookers from Green Acres Nursery and Supply. Our Napoleon Stainless Steel Pro Series gas grill has turned us into pros. Napoleon grills are all made with premium steel that boasts absolute quality. Go to Napoleon.com for your nearby Napoleon Grills dealer. Napoleon Grills, now is the time for the best selection of grills and fine accessories. Get ready for the 4th of July.
Prestige line comes with a lifetime warranty. During a Flex Alert, let's do the dishes after 9.
What about the laundry?
It can wait until tonight or even the morning.
The AC?
It's at 78. Let's cool the house in the morning.
All right, so we're just chilling until 9.
Pretty much. And we can help avoid a power outage.
Putting off chores for later and hanging out with my best friend? I love Flex.
Maybe you should just unplug the appliances downstairs.
Good idea. Better acoustics in the basement.
California, the power is ours with Flex Alerts. Flex Alerts, the power is ours.
Yeah, I'm so stressed. Our business is growing. We've got people all over now.
Ooma.
What is that? Meditation?
I'm recommending the Ooma cloud phone system with auto attendant and more than 50 features.
Ooma?
Yep, switching to Ooma is a cinch. Just $24.95 per month per user, plus taxes and fees.
Ooma.
Now you're feeling it. Find small business calm at ooma.com/radio. That's OOMA.com/radio.
Here at the Almond Joy Factory, where tropical vibes abound, we use soft, fresh-tasting coconut.
The crunchiest almonds and delicious chocolate candy.
Ah, but do you know what our most important ingredient is? Sometimes you feel like a nut.
Sometimes you don't.
Almond Joy's got nuts and something even way better than that. Yes, Almond Joy is made with almonds and joy.
Are you ready for an incredible pre-owned blowout this 4th of July? Elk Grove Kia has got you covered with over 300 used cars, SUVs, vans, and trucks available. Every single one of our vehicles has gone through an extensive 150-point inspection, so you can buy with complete confidence. We stand by our cars and offer a bring-it-back guarantee. If you're not satisfied, simply return it. Worried about your credit? Don't be. At Elk Grove Kia, we have 100 years of combined experience in helping our customers get the best financing options available. Charge-offs, repossessions, foreclosures, bankruptcies, no problem. Our team specializes in finding solutions for every credit situation. But before you even step foot in our dealership, let us show you what we can do for you. Give us a call or visit our website, and our dedicated team will work with you to find the perfect vehicle and the best financing option. This 4th of July, Elk Grove Kia is your destination for incredible pre-owned deals. Visit us today at Elk Grove Kia, or check us out online at elkgrovekia.com.
Turn your highway into a smile way. Elk Grove Kia.
Hey, you want to be around people having a great time? You need to come check out Capital Casino, offering the most varieties of table games in the region in the friendliest environment. Come for the food, which is awesome, of course, and stay and play. Conveniently located in downtown Sacramento at 411 North 16th Street, right there in downtown Sacramento for over 20 years. Cap Casino, best food, best games, and of course, the best action. And please gamble responsibly. 1-800-GAMBLER.
From the Power Business Technology Toshiba Studios.
KHTK AM Sacramento, KYMX HD2 Sacramento.
Sacramento's official home for the San Francisco 49ers.
Touchdown! San Francisco!
Sactown Sports.
Sactown Sports.
Headlines.
I'm Simone with your Sactown Sports headlines. Happy Friday and welcome to NBA Free Agency Frenzy. We do know the Sacramento Kings have re-signed Harrison Barnes and are finalizing an acquisition for Chris Duarte from the Pacers. Trey Lyles also looking to run it back with a new 2-year deal, according to league sources. Let's get into the latest trade news and notes. I'm Simone. Those are your Sactown Sports headlines. Here's Cattles and Ramie.
With you 1 mile at a time during the afternoon drive. Cattles and Ramie.
Sactown Sports.
A lot has happened today. Let me
the
just
best
say,
thing to happen today just happened last segment.
Let me just say,
hands down.
There is nothing about Simone's mother that surprises me. She is as awesome as I expected her to be.
Every bit as sweet.
And
kind.
The food that she brought in is just ridiculous.
Dude, this is bad for me. This is bad for the final hour of this show, really.
I don't eat a lot, like especially during the show, and the snack exchange is more of a Ramie, Simone, and JJ thing. But I was not going to pass up what was sitting in front of me. Those things, or
I don't like dates. But these prosciutto wrap dates that are stuff.
I don't know if I've ever had a date. But I had one today.
They are also one of the foods of my people. I don't know if that's what Mama Rickford had in mind when she brought it.
I've never had one of those. I will have one of those every day for the rest of my life.
They're so good. They're bacon wrap dates with, she said, cream cheese and goat cheese and pomegranates on top. Oh my God,
so good. Anyway,
I need another one right now while you catch everybody
thanks to Mama Rickford. Absolutely tremendous visit, and not just because of the food. Again, a wonderful
the nicest
lady,
woman I've ever met.
Yes. And we found out that Simone's nickname is Mona, so that was a positive.
Jesus. Yeah.
All right, so let's get.
How do we not find that out until
Mic
check? I know that was bound to happen. How do we not find that out until today?
Check. It's bound to happen when Ramie's got 7 dishes of food in front of him.
And 2 giant loaves of bread.
That's a giant loaf of bread.
Oh my God. I could just eat this bread.
If you stood that loaf of bread up, it's taller than I am.
Yes.
We just want you to have a good last day, Nick.
Well, thank you. So let's.
I'm having a good Nick's last day.
Yes, you are.
Oh, they're eating on NBA Today right now. Wow. Look at the parallel.
Yeah, they're eating a bunch of terrible,
Awful
pizza.
Yeah. Enjoy. We got Mama Rickford cooking for us. You're eating terrible pizza on NBA Today.
All right, so let's get into the news of the day. And, of course, the news of the day is the NBA free agency period began 2 hours ago, and a lot has happened. Let's catch you up on everything. Let's start in our own backyard here in Sacramento with the Kings. Harrison Barnes, as we know, was re-signed last night. The Kings have officially announced that deal, so that is done. That also means, as far as signing trades and all that stuff, Harrison Barnes, his deal is signed, sealed, and delivered as of right now. So Harrison Barnes returning 3 years, $54 million. We also know that Trey Lyles is returning to the Kings on a 2-year deal. 2 years, $16 million is the number for Trey Lyles' deal. There are no team options, no player options or any of that. So it's a 2-year, $16 million deal for Trey Lyles as he returns. There was also a tweet this morning from Shams Charania. This has not been finalized yet, which does make me wonder if there's more involved. But as far as we know, Chris Duarte is going to be a King sooner rather than later. Working on a deal with the Indiana Pacers for Chris Duarte. So reasonable deal for HB, reasonable deal for Trey Lyles. I really, really like. I said I love the low risk, high reward possibility with Chris Duarte as long as you don't give up much of anything. If it's a second round pick, I love that. He's played alongside Domas in his rookie season in Indiana. They had a tremendous relationship on the floor. They have a tremendous relationship reportedly off the floor. Individually, all these moves have looked really good to me as far as being reasonable. When you look at the other money as well, Ramie, that we've seen paid out today, the Harrison Barnes deal is fantastic when you look at what they paid to get that deal done. Before we continue, we do have another deal that just came in.
Oh.
This was somebody who I think a lot of Kings fans were interested in. Herb Jones. Herb Jones is signing with the Pelicans. 4 years, $54 million. Again, Jones just declined his option, and everybody knew that he was going to stay with the Pelicans and that he declined that option so he could stay there and just sign a big extension. So that's what has happened. So Herb Jones is going to be staying with the Pelicans as he signs the 4-year, $54 million deal. That's a really good deal for the Pelicans, by the way. That's a really good deal for them. And it's really good money for Herb, who had the option, got out of the option to get the money. So it works on both ends. Herb gets some tens of millions of dollars when he was in line to make $1.9 million this year. So he gets $54 million. He gets a nice
little bump.
Nice little bump. And the Pelicans bring back a very, crucial piece to their operation on a manageable deal. I mean, that deal in 2 or 3 years is going to look like a ridiculous deal. So that deal has been done. But Ramie, back to the Kings. Just your thoughts overall, the last 24 hours. I mean, it was just about 24 hours ago when we broke the news that Harrison Barnes had re-signed with the Kings. Your thoughts, Kings bringing back Barnes, Lyles, and it looks like they're nearing a deal for Chris Duarte of the Pacers.
I mean, I couldn't sit here today and after yesterday calling it underwhelming. And even with the context, the perspective of these other moves that have gone down around the NBA, and then come in here today and go, oh, outstanding. Knock my socks off with these moves. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But it makes more sense. It looks more reasonable when you look at the money that Harrison Barnes got, and you look at some of the money that's been spent around this league. What did I say? 53 minutes for $1 billion to get spent.
Yeah, just to keep people updated here. Jeremy Grant got 5 years, $160 million. That's $32 million a year. Kyle Kuzma got 4 years, $102 million. That's $25.5 million a year. Kyrie Irving got 3 years, $126 million. That's $42 million a year. Chris Middleton got 3 years, $102. That's $33 million a year. Even Bruce Brown cashed in 2 years, $45 million. That second year is a team option, but you're seeing a lot of big deals. Draymond Green, Ramie, 4 years, $100 million.
And what every one of those moves has in common, with the exception of Bruce Brown, Nick, I think, if I was keeping up with everything you just listed off, is those guys ended up right back where they were. They didn't leave the teams that they were with. Throw Kyrie Irving in there as well, staying with the Dallas Mavericks. That leads me to believe that those guys are probably never going anywhere. We know, Nick, that discussions are had, especially with your current team, before free agency actually opens up, and probably with a few other teams. And Frankie, who joined us for the back half of the 2 o'clock hour, he alluded to the fact that maybe the Kings came back to Harrison Barnes because they just didn't like what they were hearing out there on the free agent market as far as players' interest in coming to Sacramento and joining the Kings. And so it makes more sense, and you feel a lot better about it as free agency plays out. But at the same time, you do wonder if this team now can upgrade. They have $10 or $11 million to work with. To this point, they have run it back. And I know you're in the same camp as me, Nick, where you didn't want to see them run it back necessarily, especially while you're watching the rest of the Western Conference get better around them. I want to see upgrades and improvements. And to this point, outside of Duarte and maybe Sasha Vezenkov, we don't have significant improvements to the depth and versatility of this basketball team.
All right, so we got a couple of updates for you here.
Oh,
Mark Jones, our friend Mark Jones, tweets out, "My worlds collide, Ramie. My worlds collide on this Friday. The Boston Celtics are showing strong interest in Terrence Davis."
Oh.
Also, TD. So the Celtics are showing strong interest in TD. The Bucks, Ramie, all of our worlds collide.
Oh.
Not only are the Celtics showing interest in Davis, so are the Bucks.
Oh.
Who's gonna win this one out? Huh?
And they just lost Javon Carter, so that makes sense.
So Celtics and Bucks are showing strong interest in Terrence Davis. We also should tell you that Chimezie Metu is no longer a Sacramento King. Chimezie agreed to a one-year deal with the Phoenix Suns earlier today, so Metu is out. So let's take a look at, I think it's a good time here to take a look at this roster as currently constituted, okay?
Take a break and eat more of this food.
So you've got...
Do that.
So you've got still a free agent. You've got Terrence Davis. Metu, again, out the door. Draft picks, Kobe Jones and Jalen Slauson. Possible, trade helpers that you've got. You got the Dallas TPE. But right now, Ramie, here's the depth chart. Point guard, you got really no change, right? You got Fox, you got Davion, and you got PJ Dozier, who played some minutes as a point towards the end of the season. It looked like they were trying to see if he could play a third point guard role a little bit here and there. So you still have Dozier. At the 2, as I used to say back in the day, at the 2, Kevin Huerter. You obviously still have Monk. You've got Ellis. And then you've got Kobe Jones, who you drafted from Xavier. Your 3, you've got Keegan. And you could play Duarte at the 3. You could play Duarte at the 2. He's a little undersized to be the 3, 6'5", 6'6". So in certain matchups, a little undersized, but you've got Keegan, Duarte, Kessler, Edwards, and then Slauson. And you'd imagine that, Jones and Slauson probably start the year in Stockton. And now your 4 position is the same as it was last year. You got HB, you got Trey Lyles. And then for right now, at center, you got Domas. And you, of course, also have Nimi. So that is that's the depth right now for this team. That's your depth chart. That's your roster right now. There are names still available. Dylan Brooks is still out there. Kelly Oubre is still out there. Torrey Craig is still out there. Those are your 3s. Your power forwards, if you want this team to get a little bit bigger. PJ Washington is still out there. He's a restricted free agent. Grant Williams, restricted free agent.
He might be still within their price range.
Yes. Rui Hachimura, still available, even though people think that the Lakers will match. Jalen McDaniels is also still available. And if you want guys who could play the 4/5, you could throw Christian Wood in that mix. Other bigs, Mason Plumlee, Dwight Powell, Thomas Bryant, Jock Landale, who had his qualifying offer pulled by the Suns today because they ended up signing Drew Eubanks. Paul Reed, an interesting name, Xavier Tillman. So, those are some of the names that are still out there. And the Kings still have $10 to $13 million in space. So we will continue to monitor things. We'll get your thoughts. Are you okay with the Kings mostly bringing this back, running it back? Are you okay with that? HB coming back, Trey Lyles coming back. If Harrison Barnes was the biggest move this offseason, would you be okay with it? 916-339-1140 is the text line. The phone number is 1-800-920-1140. Of course, you can chat, youtube.com, Sactown Sports 1140. Bunch of Kings fans in the chat right now going back and forth. If you want to jump in on that and have some fun on a Friday. And don't forget to give us that thumbs up. We're trying to get to 100 likes today. We're at 86.
Give the thumbs up for Simone's mom, if nothing else.
Yeah, Mama Rickford. And the
she brought in
tremendous food spread that she brought in.
The salmon on Crostini's.
We'll get to
cream and fresh dill.
So we'll get to some of your thoughts on the Kings, and we'll also share some of those big deals and some of the other stuff that's happened today throughout the NBA. It's coming up in 90 seconds.
Cattles and Ramie.
Sactown Sports. It's the Carmichael Dave Show with Jason Ross.
Apparently, there is a cage match brewing between Elon Musk and Mark Zuckerberg. Now, I hope this happens for many reasons. Number one, it just goes with the downfall of our society. Number two, nothing more fun than seeing super ultra mega billionaires just beat the hell out of each other. Number three, it would obviously be a terrible, terrible, terrible fight.
The Carmichael Dave Show with Jason Ross. Weekday mornings from 6 to 10 on Sactown Sports.
Hey, it's Carmichael Dave coming to you for Amy's Outdoor Living in Sacramento on El Camino near Watt and El Dorado Hills Town Center. They've got what you need for your 4th of July celebration. Now listen, Amy's going to pay all the sales tax on all of their huge selection of in-stock furniture, cushions, and umbrellas. Their best selection of umbrellas in tons of sizes and colors. Amy's Outdoor Living is your grilling headquarters with Traeger, Weber, Big Green Egg. You gotta see those in-store savings. Free assembly and delivery on all grills for the 4th of July. And they've got a wonderful selection of rubs and sauces. Buy 4, get 10% off. And they've got 20% off home decor accessories. What more do you need? Amy's Outdoor Living on El Camino near Watt and inside Amy Ace Hardware right there in the El Dorado Town Center. Enjoy your 4th of July, and you tell them your good buddy Carmichael Dave sent you.
Cattles and Ramie.
Cattles and Ramie.
Sactown Sports.
Ooh, good song.
Thank you.
All right. Are you okay with running this back? HB, Trey Lyles coming back. And here's my take, because I don't think it's fair to be angry at the Kings for running it back if you don't have, they should have done this instead, right? So I'm going to go and say this. I said this earlier, and I'll say it again. I would have traded for John Collins. I would have made that. If Harrison Barnes is the big move this offseason, I would have rather traded for John Collins and brought him in as an upgrade, I think, personally, over HB. That's the move I would have made. But the Kings are mostly so far running it back. Still a lot of time to do different things. And JJ's in the studio, and he's just going bananas about the spread that Mama Rickford brought.
Just in awe.
I came here for the big fella, my guy, Nicholas Cattles.
Yes.
But I'm actually leaving here excited more about that. and honestly, the reason why is because I know Nick. I'm just going to get this out here. I have formed a friendship with Nick, and I don't want the whole hour to be like that. But I'm gonna keep it a buck, Nick. One thing I could do is
don't make me emotional.
I'm not gonna get there. But look, I don't want to sound like this. We can talk about the Kings come next week.
Yeah,
we can talk about the Kings come 2 weeks from now.
I can't, but you can,
and that's my point. So I'm going to every single time you ask me about John Collins and Harrison Barnes and Chris Duarte and Trey Lyles and all these other free agents. Let me say this. Let me get it out the way because it's gonna be my answer, Nick. Salute to a lot of young fellas getting the bag.
Yeah.
Their savings, checkings, IRA, their Roths, whatever you want to call it, 401ks, their pension once they done. Shouts out to everyone getting their bag.
No doubt about that.
Salute to everybody.
No doubt about that.
You're worth what a person will pay you.
Yep.
I learned that very, very fast.
Know your market.
Absolutely. With that being said, man, I have formed a friendship with Nick, and I'm here for that. But I know as long as I'm still breathing, and as long as you are, I'll be able to come, talk to you, visit you, shake your hand, kiss the baby, because it's coming, all of that. I'm about to fool right now, though.
Yeah, Mama Rickford went all out. Those are dates wrapped in prosciutto and stuffed with cream cheese and goat cheese with a little pomegranate garnish.
All right, so let me jump in here quickly because one guy that I think Kings fans were interested in, and I would have been interested in, was Josh Richardson. He is off the market. Josh Richardson has signed a 2-year deal with the Miami Heat. So maybe that. I know Richardson played a little bit of point guard here and there, so I don't know if that's their Gabe Vincent replacement, but
that's a return for him, right, to Miami.
I think so.
Wasn't he in Miami for a quick spell?
So Richardson goes to Miami. Before we continue with the basketball talk and NBA talk. Of course, what JJ's bringing up here, we talked about this yesterday. Not going to spend a lot of time on it, frankly.
I am.
At the end of the show, we will. But I am leaving the station, and it's not because of the job. It's not because of the show. I've said this a bunch. I have absolutely loved my time with JJ and Ramie and Simone and Chris. It's been the most fun that I have ever had in radio, and I've been in radio for a while. This show has been the most fun, and I hope that what we accomplished was what Ramie and I wanted to accomplish when I brought in Ramie last year as PD, which was a show, and I talked to JJ about this as well, and Simone, a show that is just rounded, a show that can make you laugh, a show that can inform you, a show that's opinionated, a show that is, can bring some creativity. And I hope that we did that for all of you. But the reason why I'm leaving is personal reasons going on. The last 2 months, all of these guys know behind the scenes what's been going on. But it was a pretty rough 2-month stretch. And even leading into that 2-month stretch, there were some things that happened as well to Kelly and I. So we made the decision that we got to get closer to home. We got to get back home. So once the house in Roseville sells and that puppy's on the market, people, 3-bedroom. Once the house sells,
I'm your realtor. Come talk to Jay.
once that house sells, we will head back to New England. But I can't say enough about the crew. I can't say enough about the listeners who embrace 2 outsiders, Ramie and I. And whether you hate us or love us, if you listened, thank you. If you watched, thank you. So that's that. That's that for
Family
now.
first, man.
Yes, sir.
Family first.
Family
All right,
first.
some of these other big deals that we had today. Let's see. Jeremy Grant, 5 years, $160 million. Woo!
Man.
Draymond Green, 4 for $100. Middleton, 3 for $102. Kyrie, 3 for $126. Kyle Kuzma, 4 for $102. Cam Johnson, 4 for $108. Kristaps Porzingis with the Celtics got a 2-year extension worth $60 million.
That was a good signing.
Yeah, he could have made 77.
Mm-hmm. That was a good move by Brad Stevens.
Herb Jones gets $54 million, 4 years from the Pelicans.
What? I didn't see that.
Yeah, it just happened. Bruce Brown, 2 years, $45 million. I love Bruce Brown, and again, as JJ said, congrats on getting that bag. But I cannot believe $22.5 million.
That's probably
a year.
the one that got me today. The one that surprised. I said I wasn't going to be surprised by any NBA money. That Bruce Brown money surprised me today.
They thought he was going to be like, if you go back just, I don't know, towards the tail end of the finals, they're talking, mid-level guy at 12 and a half, 22 and a half. And the second year is a team option. So we'll see if it goes the whole 2 years, but still just $22.5 million for a year. And then he can go back into the market. It's not the worst thing in the world. We got Jakob Poeltl staying in Toronto, 4 years, $80 million. Gabe Vincent, this is a surprise, went to the Lakers, 3 years, $33 million. The Lakers also signed Taurean Prince to a 1-year deal.
They got better.
They did get better. It made us all sick. It makes us all sick. George Niang, haven't brought him up today. 3 years, $26 million from the Cavs. Trey Jones, 2 years, $20 million from the Spurs. And then what you saw was just the Suns signing every bench player they could. Josh Okogie, Drew Eubanks, Keita Bates-Diop, Damian Lee, Chimezi Metu. All of them go to the Suns.
Open interview day with the Suns.
How dare I forget Yuta Watanabe? Yuta Watanabe also went to the Suns today.
Can't forget Yuta
Bring your
Watanabe.
resume day.
Exactly.
Ramie's Chicago Bulls just absolutely loved the idea of bringing in guards. They ended up signing Kobe White to a 3-year, $33 million extension today. They also brought in Javon Carter on a 3-year, $20 million deal. So that's what the Bulls did. DeAndre Jordan staying with the champions. Reggie Jackson also staying with the champions. 2-year deal for him, $10.25 million. And then earlier today, we had a trade. Joe Harris, along with 2 second-round picks, sent from the Nets to the Pistons. So let's just look at it this way. We went through this, JJ. I want to go through it with you quickly. The Western Conference standings.
Yeah.
Right? And we look at the teams, and we try to figure this out. All right, who got better? What's going on, right? Nuggets are the best team in the league.
For sure.
You could say they might have slightly gotten worse by losing Bruce Brown. Maybe.
Yep.
The Grizzlies, who knows what's going to happen with them? They brought in Marcus Smart. They'll probably, John Morant's missing 25 games, though, so who knows? The Kings mostly run it back so far. The Suns, I think, are better. The Clippers, I think, are better. If they trade for Harden, they're better. The Warriors with Chris Paul, that's an experiment to me. I have no idea. The Lakers are better, like you just said, JJ.
Man.
The T-Wolves, they're an experiment. I have no idea.
Mm-hmm.
The Pelicans, I think, will be better than they were this year if they're healthier.
Depends on Zion.
OKC, I think they're a dangerous team. OKC is on the cusp of being like a 45 to 47 win team, maybe even better than that.
Mike check. Agreed.
The Mavericks with Kyrie, experiment.
Your coin flip.
Utah is a team that, I think is also dangerous. The Blazers, of course, what happens with Dame, and how does that work with Scoot Henderson?
Jeremy Grant got paid.
Oh, my God.
Goodness.
And the Spurs got Wembanyama, but that's still going to take a year or two. So, I mean, look, you could say the Nuggets, right? You're with me on the Nuggets, obviously.
Yep.
Suns?
Sure.
Clippers with Harden?
Depends on what they have to give up. Don't look like much, but
yeah, let's say it's salary and like a first-round pick.
Yeah, and it depends on Kawhi.
Yeah. Warriors. I feel like the Warriors, again, they're an experiment. The Lakers, they're better.
Yeah.
I think the Thunder will be much better.
Chet Holmgren is a tough guy, according to what everyone says. He's a tough guy.
Holmgren's coming back.
Oof.
The Jazz, I think, are going to be better. So I mean, you got 6 or 7 teams in my estimation in the West that are going to be better next year than they were this year. Of course, this is all on paper. We have a lot of the offseason left, but right now, that's what it looks like. By the way, Kevin Love is returning to the Miami Heat. So that just came across as well.
So they're not losing everybody in Miami.
No.
Okay.
They lost Gabe Vincent. They bring in Josh Richardson and Kevin Love. And the question is, is Miami just kind of hanging on for Dame?
I would think so.
Because unless they think Josh Richardson is going to – I mean, right now you've got what? Josh Richardson and Kyle Lowry that could play point guard.
Yeah,
and Lowry is pretty much washed.
That's not going to work.
So are they putting all their eggs in the Dame basket? Kind of a dangerous thing.
Yeah. Or knowing Pat Riley and you're probably, and Eric Spoelstra, you'll probably go to a non-drafted point guard, right? And hopefully it works somewhere down the road. They're going to keep spinning the wheel. It wouldn't be me.
Yeah.
But who knows with Miami.
By the way, here's your update. People have been asking about the cap space for the Kings and all of that. We have your update. So according to Yossi Goslin, the Kings are still projected right now with $13.6 million in remaining cap space. So right now they still have $13.5 million, which again, you've got names out there. You've got names out there that could seriously help this team. We'll see if they, what they do, if they do anything. I'm hoping, my final half hour on air, I'm hoping something happens. Something
go out with a bang.
Something crazy. Something bananas.
You want to walk away from the explosion like in those in action movies?
Yes. Like what is it? Is it the Joker that's like walking away? Like,
Yes.
Yeah, me. All right, all of us will be back here. We got this NBA crazy free agency day. We got the Kings to go over. We got a lot of your reaction too that I have to get to. We'll do that next.
Get all the latest 49ers news heading into the 2023 season on Sactown Sports.
I think Brock was smart, and we kind of facilitated that he met with a bunch of different surgeons. The hope is he's ready for the regular season. We'll take it as it comes, as we're doing. He's working incredibly hard, and the early returns are really good.
Sactown Sports, Sacramento's official home for 49ers football.
We're at it again, California. The hottest offers of the summer are back. Bigger, bolder, and better than ever. The 4th of July Sell-a-thon is back at your California Ford dealer. It's bigger than ever. Go out with a bang this 4th of July and get amazing offers on a 2023 Ford F-150 XLT truck or a 2023 Ford Explorer XLT SUV. And check out even more offers across the Ford SUV lineup only during the 4th of July Sell-a-thon. It's better than ever. Plus low APRs and bonus cash across the Ford lineup. We have more inventory on the ground and ready to go now, including the all-electric Mustang Mach-E. Vehicles are arriving daily, so head to your California Ford dealer to find the perfect Ford truck or SUV for you. The hottest offers of summer are back. Bigger, bolder, and better than ever. Celebrate this 4th of July with a brand new Ford of your own. Hurry, you're not going to want to miss out on these red-hot deals because it all ends July 5th. So go to your California Ford dealer today.
Players of all abilities will tell you that Bartley Cavanaugh Golf Course is the area's #1 course for fun. Whether you're a beginner or an accomplished player, Bartley Kavanaugh has something for you. It's a great walking course, but motorized carts are available too. The moderately sized greens and generous fairway landing areas will add to your satisfaction and smiles for the day. Near the banks of the picturesque Sacramento River, Bartley Kavanaugh features the brand new tap room for all your beverage needs. For tee times, visit bartleycavanaugh.com. It's Sacramento's #1 course for fun.
So I'm a public school teacher and I'm on my feet all day long. That would be on concrete. The pain would like shoot up my heels and just increased from the bottom of my feet up. Then my back started hurting. So my husband and I were driving and I went, oh, look, there's a Good Feet store. I'm greeted by this gal named Mercy. That was a perfect name for her. And the cool thing about the Good Feet store is that you're able to try before you buy. I had free fittings. She was able to fit me with special arch supports. And so I walked around in the store. Within 30 minutes, I started sobbing because I had no pain. Well, if your feet are hurting, do something about it. You don't have to grin and bear it. You need to go to the Good Feet store and get some arch supports. I'm Deidre, and that's my Good Feet story.
See how they work for you with a free fitting and test walk at the Good Feet store.
The Good Feet store in Sacramento, Roseville, Stockton, Modesto, and Vacaville. Online at goodfeet.com.
Guys, did you know your testosterone affects everything in your system, including how you feel and perform every day? Right now, Revive Men's Health Sacramento will check your testosterone for free. Knowing your T levels is the first step in understanding if you have low T. Your testosterone level impacts your energy, libido, sleep, weight, hair loss, mood, and even ED. Maintaining an appropriate T level can change your whole life. Most men start to see changes in their hormone levels in their 30s. Experience and results matter. So what are you waiting for? Get your T levels checked today by local, experienced, and trusted men's health experts. They've helped thousands of men since 2011. They're so confident they can help you, they even guarantee it. Call Revive today and schedule your free testosterone test, free exam, and free consultation. Call Revive Men's Health at 916-277-8599. That's 916-277-8599. Or visit revivemenshealth.com.
Sactown Sports.
Headlines.
I'm Simone with your Sactown Sports headlines. Happy Friday and welcome to NBA Free Agency. We do know the Sacramento Kings have re-signed Harrison Barnes and are finalizing an acquisition for Chris Duarte from the Pacers. Trey Lyles also looking to run it back with a new 2-year deal, according to league sources. I'm Simone. Those are your Sactown Sports headlines. We got the last 30 rack of Cattles in Ramie right now. Here's the fellas.
Baby Yoda's made his way in for the last couple of segments.
Oh, don't you start a laugh attack.
I still love that thing.
I actually have that bookmarked on my YouTube. I do. That's one thing. I have that episode.
When things are going bad, you could just throw that on and
you guys fell apart.
Look at us. Watch us be idiots.
Completely fell apart.
About his hand.
Over nothing.
It was over his hand.
They said, look at his little fingers. And we both just lost it.
All right, let's get to last segment's going to be some fun. Verlad's here. Yoda's here. Simone's here. Obviously, our guy JJ's here.
You see how Verlad's dressed?
He's looking good.
I love this shirt.
He's looking good.
In butter.
He's looking good.
I didn't see what he was wearing.
Simone's all dressed up.
I know.
Where you guys going?
I was busy eating during the break.
We're going to go see Bill Burr.
Boston's favorite angry
You wanna go?
comedian.
That's probably not my
not your
cup of tea.
Not your cup of tea.
I've never seen him stand up. Doesn't mean I'm not opposed to it.
He's great.
You got
He's
the connection.
angry. I love him.
You can sit
He's
with all
the
that.
best.
Okay.
If you want.
I might, do I got to go get dipped in butter or can I come in there white teed up?
All you got to do is cross my name off the list and put yours on there.
Oh, no.
No, because I got tickets on my own.
Oh, gotcha.
I tried to sell them and they couldn't sell.
Okay.
So I'm gonna sit alone with Kelly.
Where's he at?
Thunder Valley.
Oh, that's a nice little ride.
10 minutes away from my house.
You're perfect.
This is perfect.
Yeah.
Tonight might get a little wild. I don't know. I wish that there was.
You could see it in my eyes,
but
right?
there's not really a place. There's not really a place around there to go after though. No. So like it's gonna be like
just hang at Thunder Valley. They don't have like a.
Yeah, they do.
We could.
Mm-hmm.
If it's smoky, Kelly will be out. I will warn you about that. She's actually
allergic.
Yes,
to smoke.
Yes, like big time.
How did Vegas work out then?
Dude, I never even smelled the smoke in Vegas. There are people smoking all around, and you don't even smell it. The ventilation systems in those casinos is off
Except
the
for
charts.
the older ones.
Yeah,
like
that's
the
true.
Flamingo.
Yeah.
There's a few of them where it's like, oh man,
but it's off the charts. I was like, how am I not smelling anything?
Because they got like just crazy like HVAC systems, air quality systems. All right, let's get to some of the reaction here. One Groovy Greg. So far, these moves by the Kings aren't good enough. So one Groovy Greg, not a fan of what's going on here. Los Crazy Razos. No, if this is what we get, very disappointed. So not feeling it. Manny Too Legit, one of our friends that's on the YouTube chat often. I feel like running it back can be good and bad for us at the same time. The good side is that the chemistry will be a lot better, but the bad side is we might be a first-round exit, which I hope not. David Neal, I would like Sasha Vezenkov since we were teased about him this whole offseason. No word on Sasha Vezenkov. We have seen nothing. I mean, there was a tweet from somebody with like 400 followers that for some reason was picking up a little bit of steam, but nobody worth their salt in the insider game has said anything about Vezenkov.
I haven't seen a thing.
Nate Kyle. So how many teams decided to run it back in its most basic form? Good question. I mean, how many decided to run it back? You would say Denver would have loved to run it back, I think, but Bruce Brown left. The Grizzlies added Smart,
which I love.
They lost Dylan Brooks, but they're going to add Smart. The Suns have just done a ton. The Clippers are in the Harden rumors, so they're not going to stay put. The Warriors added Chris Paul. They're not staying put. The Lakers added Gabe Vincent and Taurean Prince today, so they're not staying put. Timberwolves pretty much stayed put, right, so far. The Pelicans pretty much stayed put. The Thunder. What'd the Thunder do? I'm trying to remember.
Nothing.
I haven't seen much of
Nothing,
anything.
right?
No.
Mavericks got Kyrie back, so I guess you could say that's standing pat. The Jazz added John Collins. The Blazers added Scoot Henderson. The Rockets, with their $60 million in cap space, have yet to add anybody.
Nothing. They're waiting on Brook Lopez,
and Van
from
Vliet.
what I understand.
Yeah.
And Van Vliet. Yeah.
That's the two guys they want. And then you got the Spurs, who added Wemby. Bucks, who knows? Let's see what happens. Celtics, Porzingis. 76ers, we'll see what happens with them. Cavaliers haven't really done anything. The Knicks really haven't done anything. And y'all probably don't care about the rest of the East.
Or you know the one that was sneaky? Joe Ingles to Orlando.
Yeah.
I wouldn't have mind seeing Joe Ingles jump off the bench here in Sacramento. He's long, decent creator.
Hit the three.
Absolutely.
Yep.
He'll punch you in the face if need be. Not going to back down. I like Joe Ingles. 2 year for 22, 11 mil in Orlando. That's not a bad deal.
All right, let's go to TC on the phones. What's up, TC?
Ramie, Nick, JJ, Simone, Vlad. What's up?
What's up?
What up?
Jumping.
Hey, before I get started, man, Ramie, thank you for everything, bro. Nice meeting you, big dog. You did a good job, man. I hope everything is well with you, brother.
Appreciate you.
Yeah, I mean, not Ron. I'm sorry, Nick. I said Ron.
It's all right. I
was going to take the praise. I was here for it.
We know what you meant. Ramie just loved the idea.
Anytime somebody wants to throw some love my way, I take it. But yeah, Nick's all right,
you
too.
You know what? Yeah.
Every once in a while. What do you got for us, TC?
Hey, Monty is smart, man. You know what? I was listening to you, Nick, earlier. I mean, I was with the whole John Collins. Like, if Harrison is a big move, then we should have took a swing at Collins. But I guess Monty is smart. He always throwing us off, and then when we think we didn't have nothing, we got something going. And what was that trade earlier with the Pacers? That's not even done. So that could be a 3 or 4 team trade. He likes doing that. So exactly. So with our signings, I'm solid with those. You know what I'm saying? And I think the last bang of the day will be able to bring in like a Grant Williams or maybe a Mo Bamba, and I'm fine.
Yeah, Mo Bamba's still out there. Thanks for the call, TC. We got to run. I appreciate you. Again, there's names out there, man. one name that's no longer out there is Rui Hachimura. He just agreed to a 3-year, $51 million deal to return to the Lakers.
Oh.
Wow. So Hachimura is officially off the market.
3 for 51?
3 for 51. So what is that? 15?
17?
Yes.
17.
Yeah, 17, right?
Yeah.
Would you rather have Rui Hachimura than Harrison Barnes?
I would.
The Lakers could match, of course, if they wanted to.
Right. That's one of the ones that makes me think.
Also, Harrison Barnes spoke with Mark Spears, and here's what he had to say about re-signing with the Kings. I chose to stay because we have a great young team, and I think we can make some real noise in the West. So that's one of the comments. First time Harrison Barnes talking. We have another addition. This is going to kill me.
Headphones acting up?
Yeah.
Yeah, right there.
Another addition to the Lakers.
Dang.
Cam Reddish.
Oh.
That's a nice flyer by them. I just hate L.A. I really do.
You ain't lying.
So they've added Gabe Vincent, Taurean Prince. They've kept Rui Hachimura. They're adding Cam Reddish. Sounds like they're going to keep D'Angelo Russell as well.
That's a trade piece.
And
of course my headphones go crazy right before the end of the show.
That's a team that's gotten a lot better today, man. Maybe as much as any, because we just went through the list of teams that have stood pat, that are going to run it back. You know what I mean?
Sick.
The Lakers are actively getting better and deeper as we watch free agency happen.
By
today.
the way, I don't know if you guys want to do it or not, because it's, I know I live further away from the rest of civilization where you guys are.
Right.
I think my wife just suggested a tiki bar party after the show.
Oh, at the Cattle's residence, huh?
Get it in.
I don't know.
Might be up for that.
I don't know. We'll see.
Get it in.
I got to check with my Uber.
If it's like 95 degrees.
I'm in. Yeah, I love Bill Burr. My favorite comedian out there.
Really?
Nick's not bad either.
All right, TC.
All right, my final segment with this radio station is coming up next. I don't know what we're going to do, but we'll do something coming up.
Check out the Golf to Go Hour with Frank LaRosa every week on Sactown Sports. Get the latest on equipment, area courses, people who play the great game, and plenty of good conversations about golf. It's the Golf to Go Hour every week with Frank LaRosa on Sactown Sports. Golf to Go is brought to you by the Hagen Oaks Golf Super Shop, America's most awarded golf facility. Nature Wood Home Furnishings, where it's all about choices and always about quality.
Sacramento weather is brought to you by the Roseville Auto Mall.
I'm Mark Finan in the KCRA 3 Weather Center. Skies will stay clear tonight. Not much in the way of a delta breeze. Temperatures will drop down to the upper 60s by sunrise, and it's going to be hot tomorrow with very light winds. Look for a high of 107. Get the latest forecast on the KCRA 3 News and the KCRA 3 app.
This 4th of July, it's all about selection and convenience. With 17 award-winning dealers, 20 brands, and thousands of vehicles, the Roseville Auto Mall has Northern California's largest selection of new and pre-owned vehicles. The Roseville Auto Mall, driven to be the best.
Hey, it's Carmichael Dave, and I recognize, just like my friends at American Energy Heat and Air, that your time is important. And that's why shopping for a new air conditioner is now easier with American Energy Heat and Air's online quoting tool. All you have to do is go to AmericanEnergyAir.com and get an instant quote right now. It'll help you determine what system you're going to need to get. It'll provide the best pricing options, all from the comfort of your home without having to have somebody come to your home. You know how annoying that is? They come in and everybody there is so sweet and nice, but how much better is it to be able to get it on demand? Visit AmericanEnergyAir.com. Check out how easy it can be. Or if you want to give them a call and talk through what your needs are, 916-520-9990. That's 916-520-9990 or AmericanEnergyAir.com.
Call 916-520-9990 now.
Imagine getting ahead of your irritable bowel syndrome with constipation or IBS-C by treating it with Linzess. Then you could start proactively managing your constipation with belly pain and get ahead of your symptoms. Talk to your doctor about Linzess, linaclotide. Linzess is a prescription medicine that treats IBS-C in adults. It's not a laxative. It's a once-daily pill that helps you get ahead of your symptoms. It's proven to help you have more frequent and complete bowel movements and helps relieve overall abdominal symptoms, belly pain, discomfort, and bloating. These symptoms were studied in combination, not individually.
Do not give Linzess to children less than 2. It may harm them. Do not take Linzess if you have a bowel blockage. Get immediate help if you develop unusual or severe stomach pain, especially with bloody or black stools. The most common side effect is diarrhea, sometimes severe. If it's severe, stop taking Linzess and call your doctor right away. Other side effects include gas, stomach area pain, and swelling.
Imagine, what could relief from IBS-C mean for you? Talk to your doctor and say yes to Linzess. Learn more at linzess.com or call 1-800-LINZESS.
Are you ready for the ultimate 4th of July celebration? Get ready to kick off the summer in style with the hottest deals in town at Elk Grove Kia. For those looking to go green, we have the award-winning all-electric Kia EV6. With its sleek design and 0 emissions, it's the future of driving. Lease the EV6 for just $489 per month and experience the thrill of electric power. But wait, we've got something even bigger for you. The Kia Telluride, the hottest SUV on the market, is here with prices so low we can't even advertise. We have 11 Tellurides available for immediate delivery. These deals are the best we've had in over 3 years, so hurry in for the best selection. Our general manager guarantees that if there's a car, SUV, or truck you're willing to take the keys for, we'll find a way to fit your budget at Elk Grove Kia today. Don't buy until you check us out at elkgrovekia.com.
2023 Kia EV6 with 36-month lease, $51.50 customer cash to assigning residual $29,849.70 based on 10K per year, 20 cents per mile over, 0 security deposit required. Kia finance tier 1 FICO score 740 plus, subject to lender approval. 1 of this payment, GK 8609104 expires 7/5/2023.
Elk Grove Kia.
All right. So I don't know what we're going to do here. I will tell you, though, that we've been waiting all day. Fred VanVleet. We've been waiting for Houston with their $60 million in cap space. Fred VanVleet signs a 3-year, $130 million deal with the Houston Rockets. It's a lot of money. So a 3-year, $130 million deal.
You know, I know how everybody feels about Kyrie, and I have the same concerns about Kyrie and his availability, but to me, Fred VanVleet is the most overpaid player of the day. He's the big winner. He's the big winner in NBA free agency. That's crazy money for Fred VanVleet to me, man.
And now to wrap it together here with the Kings, what do you do now if you're the Raptors? You know, are they going to blow it up? Is OG Anunoby maybe a little bit more available now because VanVleet walked out? We'll have to wait and see. All right, so let me guess. I guess I'll just start this thing off, and then you guys can take it wherever you want to take it. So again, today's my last show. This is my last segment here at Sactown Sports, and it's been a great time. You know, it really has. Kelly and I have enjoyed Sacramento a lot. We've enjoyed being along for the Kings ride. I've loved working here. Honestly, the last 6 months of the first year wasn't great because I was just taxed doing 2 full-time jobs and running hard. But this show itself's been awesome. So I will say that, Ramie is incredible at what he does. Such a good guy. And I brought him in last June, and I'm very happy that I did that. I feel like I made the right move with that when I was program director, and I think you and I did what we wanted to do here. Mm-hmm. And I wish we had a little bit more time, but again, personal reasons taking me back home. JJ is
and ratings have shown that, because one thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna give y'all flowers. And I say this all the time, there's a lot of people that run through these doors at Sac Sports 1140, and a lot of people aren't as vocal as Jay. So I'll be the one to wear it. I'm gonna talk about it. I'm not gonna turn a blind eye to it. Ratings show it. Salute to y'all.
Well, thank you. JJ, one of the first guys I talked to when I got to the station, and just super talented. And I feel like just wasn't when I first met JJ, he wasn't, being utilized, I thought, to the best of his ability at times. And I think you just got a ton of talent. You're legitimately one of the best producers I've worked with. Super smart about the business, always listening, even if you don't think he's listening.
It's scary.
I'll be like, what do you think, JJ? He'll be like, I thought segment, blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, man, he's listening to everything somehow, some way.
Caught every last bit
doing
of it.
100 different things back there, but he's But JJ is a great dude. And if anybody knows JJ personally, his daughter comes number 1 with him. A lot of stuff that he does for her and his family, which, we don't talk about because it's personal stuff. But, I consider you a friend. I consider everybody a friend. I really do. And I just don't say that. Simone is a trip. An absolute. She's an experience. And I wanted her like the Jimi Hendrix experience, the Simone Rickford experience.
That's a great word for Simone.
I wanted Simone to be part of this station on the air, pretty much like the first day I met her. And at first she was like, trying to tell me, I don't know if I could do it. I'm uncomfortable. And I remember I went back to her. I made another run at it late in the year last year. And she finally was like, yeah, I think I could get into it. Made my day, and I think she's a star. I don't know if it's sports radio. I don't know if it's music radio. I don't know what she's going to do, but she is going to be a star. People love her for all the right reasons. So, just fantastic. First female voice I got to work with, by the way.
Hey, I didn't know that.
Wow.
Yep.
Wow.
So,
no idea.
Big deal for me.
I had no idea.
It was big deal for me. Chris Verlade. Let's save him for last.
That's an experience.
Verlade is an experience. Verlade's an experience, especially outside of the building.
Yes.
But I love Chris, man.
For sure.
I just funny, one of the funniest dudes, one of the most dry wit at times, just so funny. And a guy that loves, he's been here for 15, 16 years, Chris?
14.
14. I was
about
close.
to get on my 15-year bonus, just to let you know.
There you go. It's a big one.
It better be.
I'm buying me a drink tonight.
I made it a year and a half. I don't know about 15-year bonuses, but I love Chris is awesome. And I thought, he was another guy that Ramie and I, we just, you and JJ, we wanted you guys to be with us. And if we could have had all three of you guys behind the scenes, we would have.
That'd have been a heck of a party.
But Chris is another guy that, not many people will know the legit sacrifices that he has made to be a part of this brand.
Mm-hmm.
And he has done some things that people would not do for the name of his job. And I think that gets overlooked. And so I think he's a guy who might not admit all the time that he loves what he does, but I think he does love what he does. And really good dude. And again, a hell of a time outside of this building, which I don't know if I have fully yet. I feel like I've gotten like 50% of that at times, but
the full Verlade experience,
maybe the full Verlade.
Yeah.
Like what is it
tonight?
The Michael Vick experience.
The full monk. The
Maybe
full
tonight.
monk.
Yeah.
I get the full Verlade tonight before Bill Burr, maybe after. Yeah, but I love you guys. I do. And again, have not had as much fun in my life doing radio than this. And you guys have made me so much better.
Yeah.
You made me laugh and be a goof more than I've ever been a goof. And I think that's important. It's one of the reasons why I brought Ramie in, because I thought he'd bring that out of me, and he did. Maybe a little bit too much sometimes.
Like the Baby Yoda incident.
But all right, but
for you.
That's enough.
For you. Only for you, Nick.
That's enough, though. But I appreciate the listeners, too. And I had a hell of a time, but we got to go take care of some family. So I don't know if anybody wants to say anything, but I've run out of stuff to
I'll
say.
say this, and I said this to you yesterday, Nick, that it was almost destined to be that we got to do this show together.
Yeah.
You auditioned to be my co-host when I was in Minneapolis, and then the pandemic hit, and not only were we not hiring a co-host, we were firing Ramie, and I was on my way back to Milwaukee.
A demo via Zoom.
And I think we both left that. I think we both left that audition feeling like this thing could be pretty good. And lo and behold, a year and a half later, you had a chance to audition and hire yourself a co-host, and we got to finish that unfinished business, and we got to prove that this thing could be pretty good when we got together. And as JJ said, the results were good, man. And I'm glad you felt like you made the right decision in bringing me here, because I know that you had to fight for that to a degree. I know this is a job a number of people wanted, and when I first got here, after a while, you just sort of settle into the groove of coming in and doing your show and doing your job every day. But I'll tell you flat out, when I first got here, I was like, I got to make sure I make Nick look good. I got to go in that studio and make Nick look good.
And Kelly's been saying that for 18 years.
Not make you look good on the air. Make your decision to bring me in here look good.
There was never a doubt.
And I'm glad we got to finish the unfinished business.
Never a doubt. I would have left my position as PD if I wasn't able to hire.
And one thing I'll say about this whole team is that there was I hope you never had a doubt that we would be upset that you had to go and take care of family. Because one thing I know about JJ, Simone, Verlad, myself, and you, Nick, is we all understand as much as we love this thing, it's family first. Yeah. And 100% respect your decision and what you got to go do, man. So go do it.
Yeah, straight up, brother. Definitely, man. I'll say this. I'll get out quick because I know we have some time. I mean, we got to get out of here quick. But I'll say this, man. It is
consummate professional producers. Gotta hit the heart out here.
Real quick. I mean, look, if it's to me, we could push the A's another 5-10 minutes. But
could push it for 2 hours. I don't know how many people do.
I'll say this. The one thing that I take away from a lot going on is this. Most people always outside of here always tell me this, and I take solace in this is a local show for sure.
Yeah.
And you guys coming here have had to localize what you guys do. But one of the things that I've learned from both of you guys is working at all these national networks. There is a middle. There's a middle ground. And I think a lot of what you guys touched on locally, entrenching your guys' self, Nick coming here doing the same thing, but also still having that national flavor, unlike anything in Sacramento right now. We don't have a national flavor show, and that's what makes you guys stick out for me. And look, I know some people don't want the national flavor, but I also, again, results show some people are interested in that. And I learned a lot of that when it came to the localization of a national show, if that makes sense.
Well, thank you. Simone, Chris?
We love you, and we got to go.
And I was the greatest on the record
I watched the stats, Nick.
On the record, Vlad was clutch.
I watched the stats, man.
Again, all right, love you guys. And again, thanks for everybody who listened and was a part of this. And I appreciate you. I'll still be around. I'll still be around town until this house gets sold and closes, actually. So I'll still be around. But we got a comedy show to go to and have a lot of fun. So everybody have a great weekend. Great 4th of July. Thank you for embracing us if you did. Thank you for hate watching us or listening if you did. Everybody be well, be safe, be healthy. See you. My weirdness shines through more and more every day.
The King season might be over,
but Sactown sports coverage never stops.
Expectations coming into the season and how we performed. I mean, it's one of the more special seasons that I've had in my 11 years.
Stay tuned all off season to Sactown Sports and SactownSports.com for the latest Kings news.
All new spring deals are here at Lowe's. Start planting your garden this weekend with Bonnie 11.8-ounce vegetables. Buy 4 for $10. Plus, liven up your patios and decks with fresh